let's go.
You opened it. We came.
And we're live. How are we doing
Hi
then,
all.
Zero?
Yeah, I'm here, yeah. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but things were beyond my control.
You are
But-
what I believe is called a bus wanker in modern parlance.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. It's fucking crap. There's like too many people and not enough buses, so I had to wait for the fucking next one. So yeah, God Bennett. That's the trouble. We're not driving, you see. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So I'm a bus wanker, yeah. There you go. Push bikes, push bike is an option, but I think my push biking days are over. Like you have to walk about, you get a puncture, and oh my god, I've got to walk my bike home. Like nah. But yeah, let's get on to the weirdness. That'll be a good antidote.
I've got some weirdness. I've got some unexplained mysteries weirdness. I quite like. They're quite good to start on the old unexplained mysteries, aren't they?
I've just had a brain fart or a brain flash, and I'm thinking like sitting here as I am at the moment at my desk. It's almost like a sort of altar, when you sit at your desk, and I feel like I'm sitting in Captain Kirk's command chair on the Starship Enterprise of the Star Trek, where at this moment in my sort of like at my altar desk, I can go anywhere. I can find any information just with my brain. So yeah, I'm in a bit of a weird mood. If no one's
that's what they come here for. You and your weird moods. Yeah. First story I'm going to kick off with is hold on a second. Show everybody. So it says scientists have determined what it was that made the fiercest Viking warriors so fearless and ferocious. Famed for their advanced seafaring skills as well as their penchant for carrying out brutal raids on coastal settlements across northern Europe, Vikings were a force to be reckoned with. Perhaps the most feared among them were the berserkers, warriors who employed unparalleled level of brutality and a frenetic fighting style that made them unrivaled on the battlefield. Now, in a new study, scientists have shed new light on what was behind these berserkers' fearlessness. A potent herbal tea made from henbane, which is a plant containing two types of hallucinogen. Have you heard this one, Zero?
Nah, I like the old berserkers though, but yeah, I don't want to derail, but Adam says, have I got the keyboards at the sides? No, I haven't, but like I was so taken up by this idea, I did actually look on Amazon, and you can buy replica Captain Kirk chairs for like 200 quid.
Do you remember that guy that did his flat out? Did you ever see that one?
Yeah, it's good. Well, I saw that on TV. Yeah, it's like,
there was some love went into that flat, weren't there?
Just like, yeah, but yeah, no, I like the old berserkers. Yeah, I've always wondered about them. Yeah,
I said it would have.
They went into battle with no clothes on, didn't they?
I don't know. I think that's General Buck naked, isn't it? It's something slightly different.
Yeah.
You know about General Buck naked, don't you, Zero?
No, I don't know.
Do you not know him? He fought in the Liberian Civil War, and he was a full on voodoo. He was into full on voodoo. He used to eat his enemies and all sorts. And he used to go into battle naked except for a pair of boots and an AK-47.
Fucking hell, yeah.
Because he was bulletproof. because he'd done the voodoo ceremonies.
Oh, did he last long? Or...
No, he had a long and happy life, retired and became a Christian.
Fuck it, oh.
Yeah.
So what was it? I actually missed that. What the berserkers are like explained.
Yeah, basically it says it said this tea would have reduced their sensation of pain and made them wild, unpredictable, and highly aggressive, said botanist Carsten Fatter from the University of Ljubljana.
Yeah. Well, the old flower agarics, I suppose.
Yeah.
The fairy tale mushrooms.
Wait, it's a what did I say? The plant was called. The plant was called henbane, I think.
Henbane, oh yeah, that's pretty heavy stuff. Yeah,
You know,
it's
do
the
you
old
know that?
witch's
Then, do you?
ointment, isn't it? I had a bit of a thing about the old witch's ointments. Yeah, I used to sort of try to collect the recipes and that, but I was too scared to. I was too scared to make it because what do they call it? The LLD or whatever, the lethal dose ratio or whatever, is so unpredictable. It's like, don't want to mess with that stuff. Nah.
Henbane is called. I've just got this. Hyoscyamus niger, also known black henbane, hogsbean, or stinking nightshade. That's That's a highly toxic plant of the nightshade family.
Yeah, that's heavy stuff. Like potatoes are part of the nightshade family as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that.
In my former life, I was going to be like a gardener, and I went to gardening college, and they had a poison garden, as they call them, like where they grew like deadly nightshade and all that. And in my lunch break, I used to sort of go to this poison garden and just like trip out to the deadly nightshade because like they're such a sinister looking plant with these big black berries. Like you take one of them and you'd be like on cloud nine in no time. And I just used to think like you're an evil looking plant. You are like, but that's I think that's part of the same family. Yeah. Very weird. Isn't these plants like take you on another planet if you take a little bit of them.
There's a poison garden in Alnwick, isn't there, which is up near past Newcastle, I think. That's where they filmed Harry Potter, so the gardening scenes.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah, well, you got to know what they look like. You know, if you're a farmer, a gardener type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get your old cows eating. I'll kill them. Yeah.
I've got a good one here, Zero. A group of released pigeons wearing MAGA hats. In Las Vegas.
Little tiny ones.
Yeah. Back in December, it was reported that an anonymous individual had been affixing tiny cowboy hats to pigeons in Las Vegas. A stunt that was later copied the following month when pigeons wearing tiny sombreros showed up in the streets of Reno, Nevada. I know it's... Now it seems that an anonymous group known as Pigeons United to Interfere Now, which is the acronym Putin, has released a number of pigeons donning either Donald Trump wigs or red MAGA hats.
That sounds like some serious psyop stuff going on there, yeah.
Oh God, this is so full of puns. It says,
according to 9/11, but...
according to Putin's founder, Coup Hand Luke, the pigeons themselves are all rescue birds. Oh dear. So that's that one. Fucking madman. Absolute mad lads.
I tried to speak about that last time, but we got a bit of tech support. But I'm still thinking about disguises. I don't know. That is sort of like a bit esoteric, the old disguise. Like, you know, the old ancient mask magic and all that. And is it the Javanese? They're really into that. And I've never really got into it. But obviously, if you wear a mask, everything's like different, isn't it? It's like if you wear a balaclava, it's like your thoughts and beliefs are going to become different. So I'm thinking of I'm going to become a heavy metal wizard, and I'm going to get like a long hair and a long beard thing. And I was researching it today, and it's this company in America. It's like it's too expensive. It's like $400, but they sell this complete disguise makeup kit. So you buy it on the premise that you can change your appearance in 5 minutes or less. so you can't be recognised, and you get glasses, a moustache, a mole, and teeth. And it says if you have more time, you can use other items in our kit to allow you to add a scar or nose. But yeah, just fascinating. Like you see the photo of it, it's just fascinating little sort of like kit.
You'll be like Clouseau with your nose dripping off, mate.
Yeah, it's just sort of like I don't know. I got the urge to do it. I don't know why.
I was going to say,
Tired
have you ever heard of that phenomenon where white men wear blackface masks, pretend to be black,
No, that's a bit
and do robberies and stuff?
Oh right, yeah. So yeah, that's a good idea actually. Yeah, because no one's going to be looking for you, are they? If you're a totally different colour.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot what I was going to say. What was it? Oh yeah, talking of disguises, I was looking at that case of Gail Newland. Yeah, that woman in 2017 who was found guilty of sexual assault, but she pretended to be a man, and like she used a prosthetic penis to have sex with a so-called victim or a girlfriend she was totally unaware that her girlfriend was her boyfriend was really a man, because
I remember one of those cases from like the mid to late 90s.
I think
it's a phenomenon that's been going on a little while. I don't think it's a brand new like trans type thing. I think it's always always gone on to.
I'm thinking but this woman got done, but surely her girlfriend should have got done for being a total spack. Like, you know, I mean, if someone comes up to you and sort of like says like, Miss Newland had created a fictional Facebook profile pretending to be a half Filipino, half Latino man called Kyle Fortune, using an American man's photographs and videos. When she met with her victim, she asked her to wear a blindfold at all times, and the attacker's identity was only revealed when she removed that mask. Her girlfriend agreed to demands for her to wear a blindfold at all times, including during sexual encounters and while watching television, going on a car journey, and even sunbathing. I mean, what the hell's going on there?
I think the girlfriend needs to be done for being a retard.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? And surely that's like the old witches, isn't it? When they used to put a strap on to sort of shag all the witches, and yeah, you'd think you'd notice, wouldn't you? Like, I don't know. Or if like you meet a new partner and they say like, well, like, can you like wear a blindfold at all times because I don't want to show you my face.
Well, there's that theory. There's that theory, isn't there, that you kind of you put a different, like at the start of a relationship, you kind of put forward a different version that is not quite you. But I mean, that's like above and beyond that.
Sort of, yeah, it's just weird. But I don't know.
There's some fucking weirdos out there, mate.
That is, I do blame 9/11. I think the world really has gone crazier since then. Like, that was a sort of, I don't know, that was a weird thing. But
do you think we all died? Do you think we all died on 9/11 and 9/11?
Something could have happened, yeah.
You've heard that one.
The world could have died, yeah, and then like that sort of reset automatically, like changing scenes in a dream. I've heard that theory, yeah. And like it's happened several times before with meteor strikes, where like something from outer space strikes the Earth, blows it all up, but no one notices because of the sort of inertia of everything that's gone before, and it just like resets, and we don't notice. Yeah, I think something like that's gone on. It's all that Mandela effect stuff and that, which is sort of interesting when you look at it. That seems like they have changed the Bible, like recent printings of the Bible have changed words and that around. I mean, I wouldn't have thought that would be allowed, but yeah, very odd. Something did go on in 9/11. Yeah, it did, yeah. That was so. Did you see it on TV when it happened? Like, I was like at home at the day, and my mate rang me up and said, "Put on the TV." And
yeah,
I put it on, and yeah, that did look like a sort of weird Hollywood film. That just seemed unreal.
There was something unreal about it, wasn't there? I know exactly what you mean.
And then there was those devil faces in the smoke, and that, like, which aren't like, they don't look random to me. They look like devil faces in the smoke of the Twin Towers. I don't know. I don't know.
It seems weird that nobody's tried it since. or before
Yeah,
or since. I find that kind of weird.
it just seems very, I don't know, very odd. And they got all the sort of like all that usual mo where like they were doing a test on the day, so they didn't like think it was real or something. Like
Yeah,
there was
because
a
that was the
test on
same
the
with.
day. Like that's just like
I don't even want to mention
happened
it
in
because
7/7, didn't it? There was a test on the day.
I didn't want to mention it because apparently bad things happen to your channel when you mentioned it. But Sandy Hook there was a drill on the same day as well, wasn't there?
Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many drills do they have to do? Like, what a coincidence! But
We're gonna do
yeah,
we're gonna do a drill for exactly the same thing that's happening. It's like
yeah,
it don't
on the same day.
yeah,
Like, yeah, it just seems weird to me.
it don't
That
make
that seems
sense.
like like that whole thing, like the reset sort of thing. Maybe they're doing a drill, but they're actually responding to the real event. But because everything got blown up and reset, they're sort of stuck in a sort of weird. They think they're doing a drill, but they're actually doing responding to the real event or something, or time hasn't caught up yet or something, or a parallel universe is merging with ours. I don't know. It's odd. I've been looking into nine. I know I hate to say it, but like 9/11's got boring, isn't it? Like what a horrible thing to say, but it sort of has, isn't it? Like no one seems to do it anymore on the conspiracy scene. But I don't know. It looks weird to me. Like
Yeah, it's
I've
kind
said
of.
before.
It's
Go on.
even Alex Jones has gone weird, hasn't he? Because he went into all the politics, didn't he?
Yeah. I tried to watch him the other day. Yeah, he seems really weird, doesn't he? Seems like sort of old and stunted, doesn't he? Sort of like as if like God, he must be getting bored with. He's been doing it for years, isn't he? He must be getting bored with that act. You know that act he does every day. Like
Yeah,
yeah,
the
God, isn't it? Like,
evil demonic Hillary Clinton.
is it? But as I've said before, with 9/11, if you get like a 9-celled square and you put 9/11s, like 11, 11, 11 on the first row and then on the second and third, you add up the individual digits and you get 666 all the way around the box. So I don't know. Coincidence? I don't know. With the devil faces in the smoke. Yeah, I don't know. And this is like this other thing I've been thinking about. It's just like this. I hate that phrase, like stuck in a rut. Like when people say, "Oh, you're stuck in a rut," but we are all stuck in a rut, aren't we? We're stuck in a basic reality rut. I think just like the way we think is like some of it is like imposed upon us by TV and like social media that does make us all believe in a certain way, doesn't it? But I think that could be like what the Illuminati or whatever are actually doing. It's not like obviously it's not like a hot war with explosions. It's a war for the mind, isn't it? As William Sargent said in his famous book on hypnotism, that the war now is an information war on the mind. Because if they can get us all thinking in a certain way, then they've won, haven't they? And that's why I rebel against like normality or normal thought, because you even get it in like weirdo conspiracy research or paranormal research where almost every single thing in that area is presented in that like inflexible horrible sort of teacher pupil based sort of this is this and that is that. And it's almost like the TV news, isn't it? And I think that just limits your thought. And I think you should trip out, man, and kind of just go weird. And I don't know, it's like see it in a more like I don't know, sort of an abstract, sort of poetic sort of way, like because with like today's digital editing technology, you could do like an amazing abstract, sort of weird, poetic sort of documentary on the alien abduction phenomenon and that, which I think would be closer to how we really think and closer to how the phenomenon actually is. Just make it more out there, you know, not this bloody teacher pupil sort of thing. So I'm sick of it. because we do all think the same, don't we? We think in that teach your pupil like guru neophyte way, and I don't think that's a good idea. Like, it's not a good idea to go completely weird and start thinking like stuff like that, because you end up in a loony bin. But I'm just getting a bit looser, I think.
Oh, you probably shouldn't go as weird as old Mike Hughes, should you? You heard about Mike Hughes? Have you heard about Mike Hughes this week?
I've heard. Is he the one with the rear view mirrors on racehorses?
No. Flat Earther Mike Hughes dies in rocket mishap. Have you not seen this?
Oh God, no, I didn't see it.
Did you not hear about Mike Hughes? He's a flat earther. He made himself a rocket to prove that the Earth's flat, and it didn't go so well.
Oh no! I thought he was that talk radio presenter. No.
Yeah. No. Mad Mike Hughes was his nickname.
Yeah, flat Earth. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like a CIA psyop. If people can't see that, the way that the flat Earth movement just almost sprouted up overnight with like loads of like YouTube channels, yeah, in a very short period of time, it's just a psyop. Like, because they do these things to like mess with us and to laugh at us. I think. Like, I think that's what the ice bucket challenge was. You know, when people like chuck a bucket of ice cold water over it, I think that was like an implanted sociological psyop experiment, just to see how stupid people are. Look at
kids' fashion. You know, where they wear these silly jeans that they can't even pull all the way up, and
yeah,
the awful like worst of the '80s fashion that's coming into the thing. I think they literally take the piss out of people. I think
they do. They're laughing at us. Yeah. They do, because they're so easy to do, isn't it? You get like one or two, like what they call social media influencers, like they say it, and then everyone follows them like lemmings. Yeah, it's terrifying. Yeah, I don't know. All youth cultures are CIA, MI5 things. I think about the only ones that weren't was the New Age Traveller movement, but then that got stomped on from a great height during the Battle of the Beanfield in 1984. At the Stonehenge Festival. That was the last gasp, I think, of like genuine grassroots youth rebellious movements. Everything else has been a total psyop. That rave and all that. Nah, it's totally manufactured, I think. Rave appeared overnight with its special own like mind controlled drug, didn't it? Like almost overnight.
Well, it's kind of they don't call it trance music for nothing, do they?
Yeah, had its own drug that sort of sends you doolally and like meek. I mean, I've met people, ex-ravers, who used to take ecstasy, and their mind's gone. Their minds are just blown. And
as
its own little symbol, didn't the smiley face,
As H. Peach says in the chat, he says the Flat Earth Society has members all around the globe. Have you seen that tweet from him?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. But these things they can't. It's all pre-packaged. It's got its own drug. It's got its own little smiley face symbol. Its own like stupid hat you wear, and then you got those candy ravers, like the paedophilic lust candy ravers. Who used to sort of revert back to childhood with like used to go to raves with babies, dummies, didn't they? And that.
Oh yeah.
It's very creepy, isn't it?
Wasn't that? I thought that was. I thought that was because of the gurning due to the drugs they were taking.
All right.
Yeah, I think there was a reason for it. It wasn't just like that.
I knew like my sort of spider sense said stay away from rave and ecstasy. I hate the music anyway. I think the music's crap. It sounds like I don't know, dancing to a computer.
Oh, we've got a new listener in Zero. Liberty Ayla Swear. He says, I'm new to the stream, enjoying it so far.
Bonjour. That's the only thing. I'll shut up.
You're going to do some Del Boy French for us, are you?
Well, no, if I talk about the French, I'll get in trouble. But I'll say it now that I've said it. Like someone said to me, this guy I used to work with said, like, the only thing you have to know about French is je voudrais, because je voudrais means I want. So if you go over there, you go like je voudrais a packet of fags, je voudrais a pint, and all that. Yeah.
Je voudrais is I would like, isn't it? No, it's s'il vous plaît, isn't it? So,
yeah, I want. No, it's I want, isn't it?
Yeah,
je voudrais.
it is I want, isn't it? I would I would like.
I was quite into French. Yeah, I wish I'd have carried it on, but yeah.
Speaking
My
of French,
French
I was
teacher.
listening to a podcast earlier with David Starkey on, and he was blaming the French Revolution for everything.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? My French teacher was called Miss Juden. Isn't that weird?
Nice.
Juden, Miss Juden. A weird name.
I remember the French, because you always had the exchange students in that used to teach you French. She said to me, she said, when you're saying the days of the week, say merdy, not murd, because murd means shit.
Yeah, they were hot. Some of them exchange students,
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah. Smell like garden. No, I shouldn't say that now. Delete that. Scrub that.
I'll edit that one out. Don't worry about that, mate.
No, I like the French. I do like the French. I'd like to immerse myself in all things French, actually, because they're
Not
pretty
much of it
cool
left,
on the
is there?
old
Most of it's Muslim now, isn't it?
existentialism, sort of navel
Oh.
gazing sort of stuff. Yeah, I like all that cafes and smoking your guitanes and your
Oh, was it?
clove cigarettes.
Do you remember that line from Red Dwarf when Lister says that? Was it? Someone says that thing that Sartre said. It was hell is eternity spent with your friends, and Rimmer says, yeah, that's because all his friends were French.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I do like the French, but they are anti-English. The French, I've noticed, like the ones I've met,
Well,
and
they're probably
people have told me
they're
that.
probably pro-French. That's what you should be. You should be pro your own
Yeah,
country, shouldn't you?
yeah. Maybe I think alcohol was involved, and that when they get a bit like that after a few drinks. Yeah, but I suppose we do as well. Yeah, don't know. But the French have never lost a war. They've never lost a war.
Yeah, but they didn't gain
They've
any
kicked
territory though,
ass,
did
well,
they? So
apart from World War II, where they sort of
it's like being a
didn't fight
boxer and
that
winning all
much.
your fights, but never winning a belt, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I've got another story for you, Zero. I've got a 61-year-old has been diagnosed with a unique condition that causes her bladder to act like a brewery.
Cool.
A woman from Pennsylvania. She was on a liver transplant list for years, but they thought she was an alcoholic, so they never gave her one. So it says after conducting tests, specialists found no trace of ethyl oh, I swear I could do Hobbit now. Glucuronide or ethyl sulfate, two substances typically associated with consumption of alcohol. They also found no sign of ethanol in her blood. So the answer, it turned out, was the woman was suffering from a never-before-seen condition, now known as bladder fermentation syndrome, which caused her bladder to act like a brewery due to excess sugar from her diabetes combined with a certain strain of yeast known as Candida glabrata. I think the biggest reason for the patient to develop this condition is her poorly controlled diabetes, because the bladder environment with its high levels of glucose is definitely not optimistic condition for the growth of and activity of the yeast.
Interesting. Yeah, it's like the Siberian shamans, isn't it? Who drink the reindeer piss.
Have I stunned you with
The
that?
the reindeer eat the flour agaric, don't they? And piss it out. And the Siberian shamans drank the piss, and that was like a more refined hit, weren't it?
Okay, so why isn't that? Hold on, Zero, you've gone quiet on me, and I don't know why.
I don't know.
Hold on a sec, mate.
1 2 1 2. I'm coming out on Jits. Active.
What the heck?
You're not here. Oh, that's weird.
Settings. Oh, okay then. Okay, that's really interesting.
Is that?
Right, so audio output.
Oh, that's it. You're back.
Okay, that's not working. What the fuck, you know? Hold on, peeps. My thing has just decided to completely...
I can. Am I coming out? I can continue while we have a
Right, can you hear me, Zero? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're echoing now.
No, I still can't hear you. What the? No, I still can't hear you. What the? No, what is going on?
There's two of you. There's two of you in Jitsi.
Hold on, peeps. Hold on, peeps. Something very weird has just got on with my setup. What's going on here?
I'm going to read my avant-garde poetry in a minute.
Zero.
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
What the F has gone on here? What the hell has gone on here?
1 2 1 2.
What's gone on here then? Right, I can see you talking, but everything's gone quiet for some reason. Let's just try doing this.
Am I coming out, everyone? Chat, am I coming out? What makes wolves and coyotes howl at the moon?
Oh, shit. Not bad. I just pulled my fucking cable out.
You're here. I can't hear you though.
You can't hear me. Ah, shit. That's me. Hold on a sec. I can hear you. Yeah, so everyone should be able to. Hold on. Can you not hear me, Zero? Can you hear me? What the friggin' hell has gone on here?
My French teacher. Weird.
Oh dear. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Oh, you're doubling.
Yeah, that can solve that. Alright, that's better. I can hear you now. Hello?
They can hear you. They can hear you, but I can't.
Okay, then. I'll see what's going on here, then. So that should go to all them. I don't.
Oh God, I haven't got anything prepared for like radio silence. But
just talk. Just bluff for a minute, Zero.
I don't want to speak me notes because then when Hemi comes back, I'll have to repeat them again. Well, I'm going to get a refill. That's a good idea.
Oh, what the fuck's going on there? Zero, can you hear me now? Zero, can you hear me now? Fuck this. Yeah, I know you can hear me both. Oh, what have I done? Settings. Right, so I should be. Hello, hello, hello. That should be fine. I don't know why Zero can't hear me. Can you hear me now, Zero?
Tech support.
Can you hear me?
Well, it's all. Oh fuck! I can't hear you. Oh, what's that again? Fucking.
Okay, so I'm right. Oh, is he popped out and in?
Oh, I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now.
Ah, we still on?
Yes, we are. That was fun, wasn't it?
I didn't know. I didn't have anything prepared for radio silence, and I didn't want to sort of say anything because I'd have to repeat myself when he come back. But, is that working then? It seems
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, it must have been. Well, it's a combination of me pulling my headphone lead out, and then my looks like my thingy spazzed out as well.
I'll take the. I was going to say, what makes wolves and coyotes howl at the moon? And I think it's the extragalactic signals. That scientists have claimed that a powerful blast is coming from somewhere unknown and extragalactic, and it's perhaps the most unusual fast radio burst in inverted commas ever detected by scientists. Although Nikola Tesla said that he used to pick up, was it Nikola Tesla who said like Nikola Tesla used to pick up radio voices before there was any radio stations? I'm pretty sure that was him, but he was picking up like weird signals from outer space when he was doing his stuff. And anyway, that's the latest thing. They're saying that could be something like which is being swung around by a star or a black hole, and the periodic blast could be an indication that the object is faceless. But that's pretty cool. I like a bit of extragalactic radio signals. But
Well, didn't Stephen Hawking at one point say that, like, for fuck's sake, stop throwing radio waves out into the ether because somebody might hear it, didn't he?
yeah, there was that silly SETI program, weren't there? That was just like
what's the nickname for
radio,
it? Stupid excuse to investigate.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's just you're looking for a needle in a haystack doing that, isn't it? It's like, yeah, it's weird, but that got loads of funding, didn't it?
To be fair, you're probably looking for a bit of hay in a haystack, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. Maybe that was a cover for something else, or
there was Jim Mars. Do you know Jim Mars?
Yeah.
Jim Mars was convinced that NASA was just like a black budget, where they'd come out with these shitty things like the moon rover and stuff, all the bullshit stuff, and then really it was just an excuse to like shuffle stuff off to a black budget.
Yeah, I think it probably was. Yeah, I mean, there's so many weird things about that. Like NASA wiped loads of the moon landing tapes, didn't they? And you'd think like the most important thing to capture on video ever in the human race, and then they wipe all these tapes and that. And yeah, it seems like something else. Everything they do is a cover for something else.
Well, we did. I think it might have been Grub and Soiler. It might have been. It might even have been Land of Grub and Glory. But we did a story where like most of the moon rocks gone because they were like feeding it to cockroaches and just weird shit like that.
Yeah, that's weird. They are weird. Fuck it up. Yeah, so much stuff goes on that. Like the extent, I mean, there are, there's black budgets and these secret projects. I mean, but what is the extent of it? It's a very fascinating thing. What are they doing?
Well, some conspiracy theorists say that, like, if you can imagine it, it's already been done by the military.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I bet they've got like jump rooms to Mars. I think they've got something like that on the go. Like, all these weird, like geniuses like Nikola Tesla and all that. Every time they die, the men in black come in and nick all their documents, don't they? Nick all their research, and like they even did it with Psychic TV, like Genesis Peorage and that. They raided him on the premise of paedophilia, but they took his entire archive of like weird magical experiments and that in the 90s over here, and yeah, they get all this stuff and they all sort of analyze it, and then they do use it for 9/11 or something. I don't know.
Well, I can't imagine it's a coincidence that Jack Parsons was part of the rocket program and in the OTO. Good buddies with he did magic with Crowley, didn't he?
And old what's his name? Old Scientology bloke.
L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah. L. Ron Hubbard knew Jack Parsons as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
He stole his wife, didn't he?
With it. Yeah. Stole his wife and his money. as
Yeah,
they say.
didn't he totally break Jack Parsons? He fucking ruined him, didn't he? Hubbard did,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Well, Hubbard claimed he was doing it on behalf of the U.S. Naval Intelligence, but if you read the actual documents, Hubbard was like the worst naval intelligence officer they ever had. You know, he was just like fucking
did,
useless.
did he use the entire ship's? No, he was a submarine commander, weren't he? Did he use the entire ship's artillery on a shadow? Didn't he?
It's just like mental stuff, yeah. But the military is mental. I think is that film Jarhead or whatever when they're all in that tank driving around stoned out of their heads and that. I think that's maybe not so much now, but I think back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
So you think there was some truth to like Apocalypse Now? Then do you? Do you think they were these fucking weird people that were well in country? Then do you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they just went off the reservation a bit. Yeah, because I mean, you know, the army have access to some interesting drugs. You know, if you're part of the medical slash like behind the line supply scene, there's some interesting drugs that.
Well, have you seen
off.
Have you seen Jacob's Ladder Zero?
Yeah. That's a pretty creepy film. That. Yeah.
I shan't spoil the end for anybody, but that's a good. That is a really good
saw
film.
Saw it at the cinema. Yeah.
So did I when I was a nipper.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that gets a thumbs up from Fortean Words. Yeah,
is that an approved? Yeah, good. I should think they'll do some remakes thing where they completely fuck it up, won't they?
Yeah, there's some interesting shots in that. Interesting sort of semi-subliminal shots of sort of demon faces and that in that film. I noticed that when I watched it at the cinema. Yeah,
Andrew Wake's got an interesting comment. He says, "A Colombian enterprise for the endeavour for the discovery of Atlantis. All challengers shall be destroyed." So that's all that's all the shuttle names, isn't it?
Oh yeah. The shuttle names. That's what they say, don't they? Like they've all got strange mythological names. These projects they do. Yeah, very odd. It's like the government equivalent of money laundering, isn't it? It's just. And hoodwinking us, and because I don't think
they love nothing more than getting one over on the plebs, do they? They absolutely love that.
I'm not so sure about all this moon stuff. That seems very. I've said before that moon landing craft, it's made out of like papier-mâché and tinfoil, isn't it? And I wouldn't want to go down to the local shops in that thing, like let alone to the moon. You know.
Well, when you consider that 2001 was made in, was it 67? Wasn't it?
67, 68, I think.
Yeah. A couple of years before the moon landings, and then obviously there's all the rumours that Kubrick filmed the moon landing, isn't there?
There's some very good evidence of it. Yeah, I watched a good video about that where you can see the seams, like the way he shot 2001 was like massive back projection but you can see the seams if you like pause the video and that. And
yeah,
this guy was saying you can see that on the moon landing videos, but yeah.
Well, it's like, didn't they lose the tape of the moon? Oh, you said that earlier, didn't you? No, they wiped the tape. They didn't just lose it; they wiped the tape. Well, who really needs the moon landing? Eh? You've seen one. You've seen them all, haven't you?
Oh, there's so many weird stuff where there's that famous one with the flag in the moon, but there's no shadow or something.
Never a straight answer, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's what NASA stands for.
Yeah, it's all fucking aliens, isn't it? I think NASA's all about the alien thing, isn't it?
Again, another Red Dwarf quote. Do you remember that one? That time we used the whole bog roll in a day. You said it was aliens. Do you remember that?
Never was.
You never watched it?
I think I missed. I watched it. I must have only watched the first series because I threw my TV out in 1989. Or was it 99? Yeah, I threw it out. Literally threw it out because that was just doing my head in.
Was you starting to go a bit like him out of Network? I watched a bit of Network.
Yeah.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. Is that what you did, Zero? Was it?
I just found the TV like a very unsettling presence in my room, sort of sitting there in the corner like a sort of demon or something. Sort of, just like, because I've always thought that about the TV news. Like I listen to the news, but it's a very weird thing to do. Like, if some little man came round to your house and like stuck his head or opened the letterbox and said, this happened in Guatemala, 20 people died in Guatemala, you'd say like, fuck off. But we willingly, like, if some little man came round and sort of started shouting stuff through your letterbox, you say fuck off. But we willingly allow these other people to come into our life, shout at us on the TV, and it started to do my head in. But I don't want it. I don't want this like dumbed down sort of thing, because it's not good, is it? Anyway, I was going to talk about the Dublin Bigfoot, but I've looked into it.
The Dublin Bigfoot.
It's just a hoax, isn't it? It's a hoax, isn't it? Well, people have found these giant footprints, didn't they, in Palmerston near Dublin, but I don't know. It looks like a hoax to me.
Boris Balkan says they reckon our average intelligence has receded to such a point that we can no longer even maintain flights by Concorde. Concorde.
Oh God,
that's broke. They couldn't afford Concorde. Woke. They're too thick to be able to maintain Concorde. Because Dr. Dutton, that he said, didn't he say peak IQ was like in the Victorian era, and it's been downhill ever since?
Is it me? It's not me, is it?
Are you gone?
Are you back? No, you went quiet.
You can't. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right then. Oh, blimey. So no, I was just saying. Dr. Edward Dutton said that peak IQ was in the Victorian era, didn't he? And said everything else has been downhill since then.
Yeah, you can see it on the street. Yeah, like when I was in town today, getting frustrated that was a freak show. You know, that really was a freak show. Everyone seemed to be retarded. It just seems, even like the so-called nicely dressed people, they just looked retarded, like in a daze. You know what I mean? Sort of. Just, I suppose I probably did as well. I don't know to them, but I'm not in a daze. But yeah, I don't know. Something is going on. They are messing with our brains. They're doing it in the education system, and they're doing it.
Well, you look at your average Remainer. I mean, they are like way beyond help, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're absolutely barking, aren't they?
That is weird, isn't it? It's like that hive mind, isn't it? It really is a sort of soy boy / hive mind / just pre-programmed. It's like you ask them a question and it's like the pre-programmed response just comes out of their mouth automatically.
Whether it makes sense or not. And most of the time it doesn't make sense, does it?
It's really weird, isn't it? It's like, I don't know.
It's like,
I don't know.
Cognitive dissonance is just like, it's absolutely a thing now, isn't it?
It's like, have they got like a big machine that's like sending out like mind zapping waves? What, maybe it's night, they turn it on at like 12 o'clock at night and that sort of zaps. It sends out like a dumbed down signal, and so they only need to get like about 60% of the population to tune into the signal and believe it. That's all they need, isn't it? Like,
well,
they don't care about the
crazies do come out at night. I mean, I've heard clips from like nighttime radio, and there's some real mentalists come out then, don't they?
Yeah, that is odd, but I just suspect that something like that might be going on. I've always thought something was going on with the electricity pylons. Like, there's something going on there.
Well, there was, weren't there? Because high incidences of leukemia at the bottom of a pylon, wasn't there?
But I mean, you got this countrywide network of electricity pylons, which could easily be, well, they're not really aerials. That mean they're there to like carry the signal, actual physical wires, but they could easily be turned into like aerials, because they're the perfect aerial, aren't they? A giant metal structure. So maybe like someone drives up in a Land Rover, like plugs in the special machine, plug it into the pylon network, and that just broadcasts sort of radio signals or something, like maybe underneath the TV and radio signals, like something underneath it. But I've said before, that weird radio ham guy I knew who said that and I've checked it out, and it's true. Like the FM analog radio signal, it's broadcast horizontally and vertically at the same time. So it's like it's broadcast as a giant cross. And
Yeah.
he said that like in the very center of the cross is a sort of void or a sort of no sort of zone where you could stick a signal in the center of that cross, and that would like just piggyback on the main signal, and that would sort of affect your mind, sort of thing. But because a lot of people still do listen to analog FM radio. I mean, I
Oh,
do.
blimey, those
Because,
those what are they called, syndicated stations where they play the same 5 songs
yeah, that is
every hour.
terrible.
That's some kind of mind control, isn't it? I'm convinced Ed Sheeran is a psyop.
And the way they turn the bass up on the presenter's mic, so he's all sort of like that, and it's all sort of like, yeah. And they compress the signal to make it even more annoying, so it sounds even more like compressed and concentrated. And yeah, that's like banging your head against a brick wall, isn't it? Listening to that, it's just like.
Oh, and the presenters sound retarded. Consume, aren't they?
Yeah, isn't it?
Oh, I consumed this product the other day. You should too.
I've been listening to LBC because I got my first digital radio not so long ago, and that's
you haven't been listening to James O'Brien, have you?
I haven't listened to him. Yeah.
Oh God,
I got it because I wanted to tune into the what's his name, not Nick Griffin's show. He's not on there.
What's his Mike Graham?
Frogface. What's his name?
Yeah, Mike Graham.
No, the UKIP bloke.
Oh, Nigel Farage.
Yeah, he's on at 6:30 every day, and I just want to listen to him. I'm sort of curious about him, but yeah, you get like talking about really serious subjects, and there's now go to Sainsbury's for like the latest like thing, and every 15 minutes those adverts come in, and it's just
God, those awful ones on local radio are terrible, aren't they?
Yeah, isn't it? Because I wanted to be a news reporter when I was younger, but then I thought, fucking hell, you'd have to you'd have to pretend to be like enjoying the fact that you're at the local sort of like fete or dog show, wouldn't you? And
I know, and those weird, pieces to camera where they shovel some shit in your mouth, and you got to say how lovely it is. They're spitting it out and going, oh, that's fucking vile.
It's like, yes, I'm here at Bognor Regis Dog Show. It's so great. Yes, it's
fantastic.
So no, that is like that is mind bending. That is, fucking hell.
Are we actually getting onto any content, or are we just doing a stream of consciousness tonight?
I've got the inhabitants of the island Tanna, who worship Prince Philip. We can't play the video, can we? We'll get a strike, do you reckon?
Is it BBC? Is it one of the big 4 channels?
Hang on, is it? No, it's like one of those weird ones that like nick the BBC content and rebroadcast.
Oh yeah, I can do that. Where you got a link for me?
I've got the link. The island of Tanna. It's like those.
Is it on
cargo
YouTube?
cult.
You can share YouTube videos if you go in the little screen thing.
I'll put it in the chat on Jitsi. Because it's like the cargo cults, which is a fascinating thing. Like these so-called primitive tribes, and when like cargo ships were wrecked, and like cargo would like float in towards their island, and they think that was like a gift from God, so they worshipped like the aeroplanes and things like that flew over. Like fascinating stuff. Oh God, we've gone silent again.
I know. I'm here. I'm just figuring out how to cock this up.
Yeah, have a look at the cargo cults. The cargo cults. Yeah, it's good stuff. Well, the island of Tanna, I don't know where it is. Probably somewhere quite far away. They worship the pale-skinned son, Prince Philip, as a god, because they say he's the son of their ancestral mountain god. Kind of curious. And the villagers believe he will bring wealth and good fortune upon his return. But someone should tell them who they're actually worshipping. He's like a guy who wants to come back as a virus and like wipe out everyone. Yeah.
To be fair, he'd have probably used some racial slur against them, wouldn't he?
and he was skilled at the Fettes College in Scotland, the notorious nonce college. So yeah, don't know.
Right, so I think I'm nearly there. Right, so that's that. Can you see that now?
Yeah, that's a bit of a delay. I'll probably come up in a minute. But... That ain't coming up. I'll refresh.
It's just crapped out on me. It's just it's playing up.
Yeah, Prince Philip. I've got loads of stuff on Prince, but not for tonight. But I have been looking into the royals. Like, what a strange bloody things going on there. I don't know. Fettes College in Scotland, just outside of Edinburgh. Prince Philip was schooled there. Prince Charles was schooled there. Tony Blair, our lovely former Labour Prime Minister, was schooled there. And it was infested by nonces. So maybe there was some sort of stuff going on there. I don't know. Program these young boys, didn't they?
No, that's it. That's playing up. That's not going to let me play that video. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, Chrome has just crapped out. Oh, tech support again. Yeah, so I'm still here for a second. Hold on a second. Fucking thing. I shall be back with Zero in a second. Tech support again. Dear, where was I? I'm back. Trying to share that screen just made Chrome just completely crap out on me.
Ain't coming out.
Yeah. We'll forget that anyway. As you were saying about the school.
Yeah. I was just saying to the royals, like paper money for the royals, it's just like bog paper, isn't it? I think that it's just like, what a weird world we live in, where like your worth is judged on how many pieces of paper with the Queen's head you've managed to acquire.
I don't know. I think with elites, it's gone beyond that. I think they just fuck with us now, don't they? Because it amuses them. There's only so many bits of paper you can collect before they're meaningless, can't you?
It's like you slave for these pieces of paper, and there's the Queen's face, like leering out at you on every single banknote, isn't it? Saying like "fuck you," you know. It's like I've got mine, you know. Like,
well, it's like that great philosopher Britney Spears said. She said when I was poor, nobody gave me anything, but now I'm rich, people give me all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So weird. I can't stand. That's why I think I'm an anarchist. I'm going to become an anarchist. I think. This stupid fucking structure of this world is so weird. I want to be like a primal hunter-gatherer in Tahiti or somewhere, you know, just sort of live close to the earth and get rid of all this sort of nonsense, but I can't. I don't think they'd let me join if I went over there. But
I think Groucho Marx has it best, doesn't he? I'd never join any club that'd have me as a member.
Yeah, that's the way I feel. Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, because when I look at the sort of British occult scene, I think like, you know, these witchcraft groups and the OTO and that they should be amazing things of sort of people queuing up desperate to join these things. But you look at them like objectively, and they're just like they're not. It's not something you'd want to join. They're just awful, sort of like weekender, sort of. Nothing against librarians, but these cults are full of like librarians just getting their rocks off at the weekend with their pseudo Christianity sort of Wicca and.
Well, if you read about the old, Cilia Sodders, we will do Dunblane at some point. If you read about the old the old ghost stories and stuff like that. They're all like these aristos were gambling with the devil and selling their soul, and all this real fun,
Yeah.
exciting stuff. I just can't imagine them doing it now. Can you? They're just
Nah, that's
boring,
all
aren't they?
gone. That is just like terrible. These
It's like you've
awful,
read all
like,
those stories before, haven't you? Like where the man of the house gambled his soul against the devil,
yeah.
or was having it away with a chambermaid and shoved her down a well or something.
That was
just
real like daring do, weren't it? All that
yeah,
sort of like gung ho sort of stuff. Yeah, and pacts with the devil and all that, and sort of meeting the devil at midnight at the crossroads and
yeah.
having a fight with him and that. Yeah,
Or
but
tricking him
now it's
out,
just
or tricking him out of your soul, or something like that.
yeah. No, that's long gone, sadly. Yeah, no, they're all spasmos. Yeah, they're all spasmos, and almost every single alien abduction, I'd say most alien abduction researchers look like paedophiles, and they're completely like I've got second-rate minds. Like Terence McKenna said, like they've got second-rate minds, and like you wouldn't trust them to investigate a car wreck, like, let alone a UFO landing. It's just like, oh my god, it's just fucking hell.
So
It's
you're not
depressing.
you're not going to join MUFON then at any time soon.
Nah, it's depressing. It's really depressing. I just don't know what's going on with people. Is it something in the food or something? But it's just like weird, isn't it? Oh, I got I got on a Bob's board, but again, like I was getting excited about Bob's board, but that seems like just another marketing gimmick. And Bob's board was a Ouija board designed by a bloke called Bob, like not surprisingly, but he was supposedly an actual serial killer. He was supposedly a graphic designer who committed suicide in Ocean City in the 1970s, but he apparently confessed to his family that he was a serial killer who just went around killing people, basically. But he was never captured because he checked himself into various mental institutions until his trail turned cold, which I thought was a genius way, if you're a serial killer, to get the police off your back. Just check yourself into the nut ward. But yeah, I don't know. But then again, but according to him, he had a near fatal brain injury in a car accident. And he developed a conscience, and he started feeling guilty. So he created this spirit Ouija board to communicate with his many victims. And if you Google Bob's board, it's all online. It's all like crappy YouTube videos and that. But it sounds like it sounds like a marketing gimmick, like that Dybbuk box. I don't know if people have heard of the Dybbuk box, which is like a wooden box said to contain like a Jewish demon in these boxes, and like people are selling them on eBay and that, and it just gets like.
How about a Dimmock box with Charlie Dimmock in it?
Yeah, that'd be
Would
good.
you like one of
Yeah.
those?
Because I hate all this stuff. Like I was sort of all these like hipster witches, they call them, these hipster witches. There's that woman Harmony Nice in Norwich, and they do all that. They got all the septum piercings and the crystal ball tattoos. And
Well, what's his name? Who was the guy at the New Forest Coven? It's like when
Joel Gardner.
Yeah, after Gardner died, that's when they kind of took over, then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They kind of took it from him, didn't they?
And it's just turning like the mysteries of the occult into just a materialist.
It's just moaning about the
witch
current president.
Thought, yeah,
Because
just witch.
There was that
thoughts,
witches
isn't there?
against Trump, wasn't there, and all that
Yeah.
kind of bullshit.
It's just like awful. They turn the occult into like a materialist money-making scheme, and there's all these like witch fashion magazines and all that feminist kind of. It's just like they're suckering these young girls in, and they don't seem to realise they're just making money out of them. I think they need a good spanking, personally.
You volunteering for it? Are you?
It's just, I mean, wake up! Like, come on. maybe they're not all like that. I don't know. I suppose the real covens, they just keep themselves to themselves. I'd like to think like there are proper real covens in Britain, but they don't go on they haven't got a website. You know, they don't want new members. They're sort of almost closed groups, sort of thing, but invitation only. Like,
Wasn't
don't know.
Gerald Gardner one for kind of trying to popularise it, wasn't he?
He's a weird guy. I like Gerald Guy. I wish he was my uncle. It'd been great to have him as my uncle. But yeah, he was into sort of nudism and flagellation, wasn't he? And like skeptics have said, he invented Wicca just so he could have an excuse to indulge in his flagellation and nudity sort of proclivities. But I think
Yeah,
there's more to him than that.
I
Yeah.
listened to a Cults episode about him recently.
I think he's a pretty cool guy. You know. Him and
Boris
his
Balkan
coven.
says Gardner was just a dirty old man who perverted paganism and the occult to get pooed.
Yeah. That's a valid point. I must admit, that's a valid point. But they stopped the Nazi invasion, didn't they? They sent a spell into Hitler's brain to stop him invading Britain, as they say.
Prove they didn't.
Or as they said after the fact, like after he didn't invade, like, oh yeah, it was us. Like we put a spell in Hitler's brain to stop him. It's easy to say that after the fact, isn't it? But, I don't know. But I like witches should be amazing, as I've said just now. Like witches, they should be amazing. Like sexy witches dancing around the bonfire. I'd join that in an instant. But God, you go to a pagan meeting today, they're just like land whales, kind of like lurching about, kind of, you know, like horrible like feminist beliefs where you're sort of not allowed to say anything in case you sort of
Offend
insult the goddess. You insult the goddess, like, oh my God, sort of. It's like, would you like a cup of coffee? What, are you insulting the goddess? Don't you think I can make my own cup of coffee? Like, are you a fucking, oh, God, nah. Nah. Which leads us on to the ghost ship MV Alta. I love a nice ghost ship. And the latest ghost ship, the MV Alta, which is interesting because Alta is the MK Ultra term for like an altered mind-controlled personality. But that's just been found washed up at County Cork on the County Cork coastline, and no one seems to have noticed it drifting in. Like that wasn't tracked; it just appeared, and people noticed it. I thought that had been tracked, but it was interesting that beached itself at County Cork because in the 90s, County Cork was the goth centre of Ireland. There was loads of goths there, and a very sort of vibrant vampire scene in County Cork. I wanted to go over there, but I never got round to it. But
You just made me want to do it.
so there's the
do
old
my
ghost
Paul
ship.
Joseph.
Their prayers have been answered. They've got
You
like
just-
the Dracula.
You just made me want to do my Paul Joseph Watson voice. What is it? Dublin's vibrant vampire scene.
But like they've got what they wanted because Dracula sort of drifted into Whitby, didn't he, in Yorkshire on a ghost ship. So the Goths have got what they prayed for, but they're all gone now. There's no Goths left. They're all like bloody don't know what they are.
Emos.
All like bloody trainee bank managers or something. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the hippies. All the hippies went on to like start Silicon Valley, didn't they? Just
Yeah,
completely
it's just
sold
like
out.
horrible.
Didn't they?
That. Yeah, it's sad. There's a few around here who sort of carried on. There's that teepee village where they all live in teepees in mid Wales. They're pretty hardcore, but yeah, it's very sad. Yeah, I say the mind control gets them, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, people. I thought they become actresses, don't they? A lot of Winona Ryder's parents weren't they hippies? I think.
I think so. Yeah,
The Phoenixes.
but this MV, yeah, Phoenix, River Phoenix. Yeah, he grew up in the Children of God cult, didn't he? Yeah.
Well, they claim now that they got out before all that weird stuff with Peter
Yeah.
Berg started, where he started sending out his circulars. Do you read
Yeah,
that?
his
No.
pervy comics.
His
yeah.
creepy
That's-
paedophilia comics.
It's really weird, isn't it? God.
Yeah.
And the law is that you have to sacrifice your firstborn to the Illuminati god, didn't you? And that's what River Phoenix was. He was the firstborn who was sacrificed to the sort of devil god of the Illuminati, even. Or it could have just been him at a nightclub overdosing on drugs because he was a twat. But
Well, he was
who
21.
knows?
He's 27, wasn't he? So are we starting on the 27 club now? Was he 27 when he died?
Oh God, we've gone silent again.
Oh, can you not hear me? That's you, because I haven't changed anything. Oh, jeez. Hello, 0. Oh, that's my signal's crapped out.
All right, yeah. All right, should come back, yeah.
I'll come back. Yeah, my signal's up and down, I think.
But just sort of vaguely interestingly, that this MV Alter ghost ship, that is a weird name, Alter. Like I say, it's the old MK Ultra Alter programming, the multiple personality programming. But it started off at, or it got lost on the shores of Bermuda. So there you got the old Bermuda Triangle going
Yeah,
on.
you know, again, like you were saying, like how like the paranormal scene isn't fun anymore. Do you remember the days of the Bermuda Triangle and stuff like that? You don't get like fun stuff like that anymore. It's always got to be about politics and vaccinations, doesn't it?
That was great in the 70s. You got like William Shatner doing these like Bermuda Triangle documentaries. That caused me like cognitive dissonance watching that. Yeah, it's just odd. But if someone offered you an all expenses trip to the Bermuda Triangle, would you go? Like, there's no way I'd go. Like, no fucking way.
Yeah, because some of those old Bermuda Triangle things were really interesting, weren't they? Like that, because they saw topography the pilot saw topography that shouldn't be there and didn't make sense and didn't look normal, weren't they? Saying things like that, weren't they?
Well, it's real, isn't it? It's not like it's good, solid stuff. Planes do disappear. There's that really creepy one, isn't there? I think there's a recording of it somewhere with this plane. Was it this army? No, this civilian plane went missing over the Bermuda Triangle, and then they sent out the Coast Guard or the army to look for it. And the plane that was looking for this first plane that went missing as well without trace. And there's this, I think I've just read the transcript and it just said like, oh, we're over the Bermuda Triangle. Oh no, things are going weird. Our instruments are like spinning around and then blip, they've gone. Yeah, so yeah, weird stuff for sure. But I've got a really, well, not boring, not boring, but I'm just thinking about all this stuff. Like they are doing this stuff, all this like Downardian, James Shelby Downard stuff that we talked about last time. And they're doing stuff on us. They're juggling the names and the numbers, and they're doing sort of spells on us. I think they are. Because, I mean, if you're going to do a spell on someone, you've got to work with what's there. You can't just work with abstract principles. You have to work with what's there, like words and numbers that are understood by everyone. And
so if the person's unwitting, if the person's unwittingly being spelled upon, does that make it more powerful or what?
I think it probably does, yeah. Because there's no resistance, is there? It's just like, because the thing with skeptics say like, well, obviously when you juggle with names and numbers, you can connect anything to anything. But as Aleister Crowley said, like that's exactly what makes it such a potent and versatile sorcery system. If you can connect anything to anything with numbers, I mean that's a brilliant system, isn't it? It's just what an amazing way to do it, like hidden in plain sight. Like the very news broadcasts we hear probably contain these sort of like, you could call it like what do they call it, NLP or whatever, or you could call it like sorcery.
But I do when I haven't watched BBC News for ages. But what I always used to do with BBC News, instead of actually listening to what they were saying, I'd listen to what they were telling you by omission, by using the language, by the language they were using. Because when they say stuff very specifically and deliberately.
Yeah.
So they even tell you what they're not telling you if you know what to listen for.
Yeah. And the next news item after the one that they say, they connect news items together, don't they? Like they'll have like a Muslim terrorist, and then they'll say like a white terrorist afterwards, or something crude like that. But that's how they do it, yeah. Because it's like serial killer, isn't it? And then you got serial killer, and then you've got like serial killer, as in Cereal killer, which is like the Wicker Man, isn't it? And sort of thing. Like, and what's wicker? Wicker, you bend wicker rods to make something. It's like they're bending reality, like the Wicker Man, and that horrible Matrix film, which was like Gnostic programming for the young. That was a Gnostic
Well, that was
programming.
the first one was based on the Invisibles by Grant Morrison, wasn't it?
Oh.
Apparently, they had
Yeah,
a
it's a
copy of the
total
Invisibles
rip-off.
on set at all times, didn't they?
Yeah, they totally ripped him off. Yeah, and I don't think they gave him any recognition either. But
No.
if you look at the title, The Matrix, that could be like them at tricks. It's like they're telling you that they're pulling the wool over our eyes, and they're doing us. Yeah, I don't know, because I see it in that, like, it's got like ridiculous now, like that recent like gun rampage in Germany with that guy, that Tobias Rathjen. Like, he's just like a textbook like lone conspiracy patsy assassin, isn't he? Like JFK, what's his name? God, I can't even remember JFK's assassin now. Was it Lee Harvey Oswald? I mean, he was like a mind-controlled guy, and he releases this stupid video when he says, like, he's talking about like underground bases and satanic rituals and all this, and then he's sort of like just taken these very like overground conspiracy concepts and to sort of cement him as like this archetypal like lone nut far right Germany and that, and I don't know.
What do they not have underground bases? Then is it? It's that's
No,
what
it's
people
just the
people
way.
should say, shouldn't they? It's like, is there no such thing as an underground base? Are there none anywhere on the earth?
Yeah, it's just the way they sort of piece these things together, which,
Well, they're even like ex bunkers, aren't they? That get sold off, don't they?
yeah, God, I'd love to live in one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, you have been round Essex, because there's a brown sign that points to the secret nuclear bunker,
Yeah.
which is quite
No,
funny.
you can go. Can't you go there? I think they opened
You
it
can
up,
go to
didn't they?
it's got a brown sign because you can go and visit it, but the sign for it says secret nuclear bunker, which is quite amusing.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? But this guy, this latest thing is Tobias Raffin. This sort of brings us on to the 27 Club, but I don't know if we're going to get to it. But like, I don't want to bore people with Kabbalah, but this is short but potent. But that attack he did recently, that was on the 19th of February 2020. And if you add up the individual digits of that date, that equals 72. And the first reports of the incident says that it started around 9 p.m. and he killed a total of 9 people. So like, and then he then shot his 72-year-old mother and then himself, like, conveniently. So if you decode it, you've got like 2 9s there and
Is
2
the mother
72s.
is the mother significant? Because most of these people, they kill the mother, don't they? The
Yeah,
Sandy Hook guy killed his mother, didn't he?
it's some sort of like psycho, Alfred Hitchcock psycho thing, in it, like this
Yeah.
weird mother in the basement or skeleton or something. But yeah. But then with this, like, this guy, you've got like 2 9s and 2 72s, which, like, if you add those digits together, you get 2 666s, and I don't know. And then the very next day after that, that white guy stabbed someone inside a mosque, didn't they? Which is a very newsworthy item,
I
isn't
think
it?
you used the word "white" in quotation marks, because I think
Well, yeah.
I think apparently that was a bit of a truth stretch to say that he was white, weren't it?
Oh,
From
was
what
it?
I hear,
Oh, that's
yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Oh, that's even weirder then. Yeah.
He was. I think. Don't quote me on it because I haven't read enough about it, but I'm pretty sure that he was well known to the mosque and he was a regular goer.
Yeah. That's just odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
And like this latest one I've been fascinated with, John Lennon. I mean, fucking hell, if that's not a psyop, I don't know what is. Like, you got that John Lennon. He's called John Lennon after the Beatle, a former army veteran who was on London Bridge during the 2017 terrorist attack when a van was driven into a crowd, killing 8 people. But now it's been revealed that he's a paedophile. He sent like child rape videos to undercover police and wrote sick fantasies about raping Madeleine McCann and this other girl who was murdered in Scotland. So, like, I mean, if that's not like an obvious sort of like thing to sort of like distract people from Muslim rape gangs, so you got like John Lennon, a former army veteran. He was
Well, I didn't.
there.
I didn't know whether maybe he saw something during the terror attack that he was talking about, and
Yeah,
they silenced him by accusing him of being a paedophile.
possibly, yeah. But it's just like odd because, like, in 2018, there was this weird incident where, like, this other van went out of control, and this guy, John Lennon, he jumped into the van and sort of wrestled the steering wheel away from this guy because he thought that was another terrorist attack, and now he's a pedo. Now it's a real, like, Mr. Hero is instantly a pedo, horrible man that we've all got to hate, which I think are sort of like saying that, I don't know, like, we've got to hate white people because they're all paedophiles as well. Like, that's not just Muslims and all this, and it's just odd. And that this second incident that happened on Queen's Road in Bristol, so you got like this royal stuff coming in as well, and again, like John Lennon, surely that must, if my theory's correct, and they're trying to sort of deflect attention away from Muslim rape gangs. I mean, obviously John Lennon, that refers to Stephen Yaxley Lennon, doesn't it? Like old Tommy Robinson. And Tommy Robinson is chosen, therefore a magical name. And then they got Tommy Robinson, again, is a sort of weird thing because you got like the Tommy, the dependable, brave British soldier nicknamed Tommy. You got that connected with the witch name Robinson, which is like the son of Robin Artisan, the witch name. And I don't know. It's all sort of like it's all muddled in my head, but I'm sure my theory's correct that they're doing these weird stories to sort of influence our minds.
Well, there's plenty of stuff they do. I mean, I'm sure there were plenty of magical tricks went on during Brexit, weren't there?
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah, just the stretching out of it was like a magical event to sort of dissipate the energies or whatever. Yeah,
They
very odd.
didn't do any good though, did it?
Nah, because I was thinking the other day, like back in Norfolk, what must have been the late 80s. I used to listen to. There was a pirate radio station called Laser 558. Did you ever hear that? That was
No, I was never
run
much of
from
a.
a ship.
I was never much. I suppose you got it easier because I suppose it was just off the coast,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
that was anchored in the just offshore in the Thames, I think, just out of territorial waters. But this Laser 558 that started off as a sort of like pop music thing, but then I remember listening like this guy used to come on late at night. I'm trying to find his name, but I can't find his name, and he was like this sort of weird culty sort of agony aunt, and like people would write in and sort of ask him questions, and he'd sort of go off on these weird like hypnotic monologues over the air on this pirate radio station. And I think he was hypnotizing people over the air. I really think that was some sort of psyop thing, kind of. Because I mean, there's that, I don't know if you know that Lobster magazine. Like they did stuff about how like the 1960s pirate radio scene, like that was all controlled by the intelligence services, like through Simon D, that famous sort of, he was a famous pirate radio DJ, and like he was ex-army, and he's just that. Yeah, there's lots of sort of weird like evidence to state that that was all just like a weird kind of,
Well,
I don't know what it
the
was,
parallel to
psyop
that in
thing.
America is Project. Is it Project Mockingbird? Is it
That sounds familiar, yeah.
Project Mockingbird, where they took control of either took control or created all the main TV stations? The CIA
Yeah.
did.
Time magazine and that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just kind of odd because
Yeah, because
those pirate
Hitler was Time
radios,
Magazine Man of the Year, wasn't he?
yeah, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But then again, like if you like, well, if the intelligence services were controlling pirate radio, that's quite strange, isn't it? Because like, were they putting like some weird signal, some like weird mind control signal underneath the sort of pop hits of David Essex and like the Sweet in there? I don't know.
Oh, David Essex must have been a psyop because he was garbage. Wasn't
It's like, yeah. I don't know. No, I shouldn't say it now. But yeah. But like these pirate radio stations, a lot of them used to broadcast from those Maunsley towers, didn't they? That were like these these weird towers, like stuck in the middle of just off the coast of the Thames and Essex, and they look like alien moon bases or the War of the Worlds monsters, and just have a very strange mystique about it. And there's all weird stuff. This was like they were pirate radios, but eventually they started acting like actual pirates, like trying to storm each other's like Maunsley fort, like mired in the sea, and like guns going off and people being killed and stuff.
Jesus, that bad?
Yeah, really odd. Yeah. Can we get a Maunsley Tower up on the screen, mate? Was that too much hassle? But I put.
Should be able to find one. Mawns. I spell M-A-U.
Well, where's the thing gone? Oh, where's the thing gone? Oh my god. Maunsley Towers. Where's it fucking gone?
Mawnsell Forts. No.
That's it. Yeah, that'll
Mawnsell.
come up.
It's Mawnsell. Mawnsell Forts.
Maunsell. Yeah, very weird. They look like something out of the War of the Worlds.
They look like, what's that base in that? Is it Blofeld's base in that James Bond film?
Yeah, Goldfinger.
No. I'm trying to think. Is it You Only Live Twice or something?
I've probably seen it. Yeah. That's just odd. If I can.
Named after the designer Guy Maunsell.
Yeah, good old stuff. But it's such a weird thing, and people are living on them to this day, which I'll get to if the photo.
Oh, one of the forts is managed by the unrecognised Principality of Sealand.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. Yeah, Sealand is totally cool. I'll get to that. Yeah, there's a bit of a lag on it. I thought, oh, there we are, the Maunsell forts. Yeah, really. Well, look at that. That second one down. Like, that's fucking amazing.
Oh, so the top one's the Navy fort and the bottom one's the Army style fort.
Yeah, they blew a few up after the war, but a few still survived. Yeah, like Sealand. But Sealand, that was taken over in 1964 by Major Paddy Roy Bates and his family, and I think they live on it to this day. They've still got a website, and he declared it an independent nation.
Oh, did you know Liverpool? Did you know Liverpool has?
Yeah, there's a few up in Liverpool. Yeah, because they were built to defend the ports in case the evil Nazis invaded, and they had big fucking guns on them. You know, like big anti-aircraft guns. And Major Paddy Bates took one over, declared it an independent republic, and just said like "fuck off" to the UK government, and introduced his own passports, national flag, and national anthem, and that's pretty cool, yeah. Because it's outside of, or that was originally outside of UK territorial waters, you could pretty much do what the hell you wanted there. You know, they all had guns and. They were doing
wasn't that the game with like Radio Caroline and stuff? They waited, the authorities kind of hoped that it'd kind of drift into waters so they could arrest them or something.
Yeah, well, they made up because originally that was outside of the UK territorial waters, but the British government just changed the law, so they widened the UK territorial waters. So now Sealand and this fort is inside. So. But as this guy said, he's in a good position because if the Navy wanted to retake this fort, they'd have to do it by force and basically kill the people who are on there. And obviously, they're not going to do it for PR reasons. So they're going to stay there. So, yeah, they're still there. Yeah, Sealand. You can become a lord of Sealand for 30 quid. I'm thinking of doing it because I've always wanted to be a lord. And because they're an independent nation, you can actually become a legal lord if you send them your 30 quid. You get a certificate and everything. But,
Is that how they keep going then? Is it?
yeah, and you can legally call yourself a lord. You know, yeah, they do that. I think they've got some web provider thing going on as well. Yeah, just odd. So we didn't get to this last time, did we? The Meredith Kirsch's poor dad run over outside his house. Like, what a horrible sort of thing. But I just see this weird mind control stuff going on with there because, well, Meredith Kircher, who was killed in 2007 in Perugia by Foxy Knox. Well, supposedly by Foxy
Allegedly.
Knoxy, but she was not revealed, wasn't she? She was let off, wasn't she? So now the black guy did it. He's got
Didn't
the weird.
Didn't they let her
name.
off? She disappeared, and then they said, "Oh no, wait a minute, you're not let off." It was
I think that,
something weird like that, weren't it?
I think they let her off, and then they charged her again, and she went to court again, and then they let her off, and then I think they charged her again, and then they let her off, and she's gone now back to America and her rich daddy and all that. So now it's blamed.
I think it was the only way they could acceptably let her go back to America, because I think they must have been under a lot of pressure.
Probably, yeah. And I mean, I suppose the Italian legal system, I mean, if you got money talks, doesn't it, put it that way, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like we like to think in our circles that like everybody in Europe is completely above board, and it's like, but that's not quite how some nations work, is it?
No, I don't think so. But so now it's blamed on that Rudy Geed guy with the weird voodoo surname, and yeah, that's all odd. But poor Meredith Kircher's dad, 77 years old, like run over in a hit and run outside his front door in Croydon on the 13th of January this year, and he's got no memory of what happened, and because he was like a newspaper journalist for over 40 years, like working for the tabloids, so he must know a thing or two. So I'm wondering whether they were doing that to shut him up, like a bit of the Princess Diana syndrome, you know, like he's conveniently shut up because he's dead, you know.
Dead men tell no tales, as Iron Maiden song.
Yeah. Because there's 13 appears 3 times. Like happened on the 13th of January, 13 years after his daughter was killed, and I don't know what the other one is, but there's another 13. But again, like you've got like 3 13s, and 3 13s is 39, which that's all Masonic stuff, like Masonic numbers, and yeah. Or you could see it as like a triangle with 13 on each point of it, and 3 divided by 9 is 0.333 recurring, so you got the 33 there.
33 and third.
Yeah, and to bring us on to our thing, like 3 times 9 is obviously 27 with the 27 club, but 27 is the satanic inversion of the 72 names of the Judeo-Christian God, and 72 is also the total number of bricks in the uncapped pyramid on the reverse side.
Isn't 72 the number of cards in a proper tarot deck, isn't it?
That's 78.
78, is it? Because the proper tarot deck should include a regular pack of playing cards as well, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that was the original tarot deck, the playing cards. I think people say that the playing cards originated out of the tarot deck, but I think it's the other way round. I think they were the original cards, the devil's picture books, weren't they, as the medieval Christians used to call them?
Yeah. Well, it was that guy that was shot with a dead man's hand.
Kool Hand Luke, is it?
No, that was a film. I can't remember. There's a famous Western character who was shot, and there's a thing called a dead man's hand, isn't it? Because it's the hand he had.
Is it 3 aces or something? Isn't it? Ace of spades, isn't it?
Should we get some facts about
that? Wasn't he shot? He was shot through the ace of spades. Like someone shot him through the actual ace of spades card, I think. Through the actual symbol of the ace.
Instead of making it up, I'll look it up. Wild Bill Hickok.
That's it, yeah.
It's described as a 2-pair poke hand consisting of black aces and black eights. These and an unknown hole card were reportedly held by Old West folk hero, lawman and gunfighter Wild Bill Hickok when he was murdered while playing a game.
Yeah. Well, it's all that. Like I say, if we don't, we might think as I don't think it's boring, but like generally, people might think all this number and word stuff's boring. But like, as you say, like they believe in all this stuff, so it's kind of like
Yeah.
you got the 27 Club. There is a satanic inversion of the 72 names of God, and there are 72 bricks in the uncapped pyramid on the reverse side of the Great Seal on the US dollar bill. There's 72 there, and I don't know, it's just odd. And then he got, as I was going to mention earlier, but he got like the whole Masonic stuff going to the moon and all that. Buzz Aldrin and all that. Like, Buzz Aldrin was the second man to walk on the moon, but he was the first Freemason on the moon, and he carried that handmade Masonic flag to the moon. So this guy, he's a Freemason. He's the first Freemason to walk on the moon. He takes a Freemasonic flag to the moon and then brings it back. And now it's located in this Freemasonic temple in Washington or somewhere. And, just odd. And his mother's, Buzz Aldrin's his mother's maiden name was Moon. So it's like he's destined, isn't he? He's destined in the bloodline to be the Masonic man on the moon. It all connects. There's no coincidences. It all connects. I'm convinced of it. Like the first man on the moon, and his mother's maiden name was Moon. I mean, come on, that's like creepy stuff. That is. That's like odd, but God, we've got to the 27 Club. But can we
Finally.
get through the? Can we get through it?
Well, we started late anyway, didn't we? So.
We need some Hobbit in. Where's Hobbit gone? We need some Hobbit interjections.
Yeah.
My voice is going. I can't talk too much.
We need to.
Where's
I've been
Hobbit?
dragging us off on a tangent, don't we?
Well, at least it gives me some rest of my voice. Kind of. I don't know.
We've been going. Oh, we've only been going an hour and a half, so.
Oh, that's right. And yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the 27 Club. We've got that image, haven't we? So I can bore people with my Kabbalah knowledge. Have we got that image of the 27 Club we can put up?
I'll have to find that. So the 27 Club. I think it's on the Wikipedia page.
I think it's no. It's in the Telegram. I'll get Telegram up. Was it? Oh, Telegram's going weird.
Isn't it that graffiti from Tel Aviv?
What's that? I don't know about that.
Have you not seen that on the Wikipedia page?
No.
I'll stick it up.
I'll put it. It's right at the bottom of the Fortean words. Is it in Fortean words? It's in the bottom of the Fortean words channel.
Okay, doke.
It's just like black and white.
Oh, the 27 Club decoded. Yeah, I can stick that
that's
back
it.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give me a sec. I've got the I'm showing that picture of the 27 Club.
Oh right. Nothing's showing on my. I'll refresh it.
On the stream. Still not showing on the stream yet.
Well, this is a good opportunity to have a look at the chat. But yeah, the 27 Club. Yeah. Certainly odd. Not coincidence, I don't think. I don't think it's coincidence.
Oh, that's it. It's up now.
Oh yeah.
That picture's from Tel Aviv, apparently.
A motley crew. Oh, is that some horrible mural?
Yeah.
Are they telling us something? Yeah.
Yeah, Tel Aviv are telling us something.
That poor old Amy Winehouse. God, a tortured genius. God. Who's that one in the middle next to Jim Morrison? Is that? I think that's Pigpen, isn't it? Out of the Grateful Dead.
Is it?
I'm not sure, but that's disturbing, isn't it? I hate murals. I hate.
That's the artist on the right-hand side. In case you don't know who that is.
Right, yeah. That's like that horrible sort of painting by numbers art, isn't it? Sort of like, look at these famous people.
Is it stencil? Is it?
Yeah, it's all sort of like that. Look at these lovely people. And God. Shall we get the decoded image up? And I've only got a paragraph. I won't bore you too long, but
Hold on, I'm gonna have to save the image again. Hold on a sec. Keep talking.
yeah. Well, this
It'll
image
be up
is
in a
now
sec
going to come
anyway.
up, but there's 26 letters in the English alphabet, and if you divide 2 by 6, you get that 0.333 recurring happening again that I've mentioned just previously. So you got the 33 extended, which I mean, people say it's Masonic, but Masonic, it's easy to say like everything's Masonic. I don't think it's like Masonic. I think it more refers to, or the 0.333 recurring, that refers more to the power of Satan in this world, I think, because obviously if you believe in the Judeo-Christian law, like Christ was defeated aged 33 on the cross by Satan and his legion, and so there you've got like the there, and you've got like
It's
the
showing.
9 threes
You'll be able to
there.
see
Yeah,
that now.
I can see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and you've got like the 9 threes there. Like there's 26 letters in the alphabet, and you've got like, if you put it in, obviously recurs longer than that, but if you put it into a computer, you get 9 threes, and obviously 9 threes equals 27, and 27 is 9 plus 9 plus 9, which you could read as a camouflage 666 or a weird inverted 666. I don't know, but 9 is definitely the number of Satan, according to Anton LaVey in his book, The Satanic Rituals. And 2.7 equals 9. So, I don't know. And then you've got 4 nines altogether, and 4 times 9 is 36. And 36 plus 35 plus 34 plus 33 down to plus 1 equals 666. And again, you've got 3 plus 6 equals 18, which is 6 plus 6 plus 6. And 9 plus 9 plus 9 equals 6561. And if you satanically reverse 6561 and you add the 1 and 5, and remember that Tarot Trump 15 is the devil, and you've got 666 again. So there you go. I've probably sent everyone to sleep, but if you do study it, you keep getting 33, 9, and 666. It keeps coming up all the time. Yeah, it's just odd, but which leads us on to the 27 Club. And again, what's 27? 27 is the satanic reversal of the Judeo-Christian 72 names of God, the Tetragrammaton, the holy names of God. It is satanically reversed to 27, and you've got all these satanic, degenerate pop stars. Well, they're not all degenerate, but rock and roll's generally satanic and degenerate, and you've got this little club where they all get their goodies and then they all die aged 27, as if in some kind of sacrifice to Satan, to be blunt about it. I don't know. Maybe 27's a secret name of God as well. But
members. No, I've just been listening to you.
Right.
Members of the 27 Club. So you got the obvious ones. You got Brian Jones, Jimi Hendrix, Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Robert Johnson. 27. He sold his soul to the devil, didn't he, Robert Johnson?
At the old crossroad, a totally inept guitar player. As the legend goes, spudhead goes to the crossroads, sells his soul to the devil, and comes back a guitar genius and one of the founders of blues, and revered to this day. And he died in agony, howling out that the dogs of Satan, the hellhound, was on his trail. Yeah, but some people say he was poisoned, but odd.
So other members, you got Amy Winehouse, Jonathan Brandis. Have you ever heard of him?
No.
He was in. He played the young. Oh, I can't remember his name in It. He was one of the child actors in It. Do you remember the mini series with Tim Curry in it?
I've only watched the. No, I've only read the book. Actually, I don't think I've seen the. I must have seen the
It was
first
also in
film.
Sequest DSV. If you ever watched that as well.
Yeah, I looked on Internet Movie Database, and there's lots of like obscure, like Korean actors and obscure American actors who died at age 27.
It was
Well, like
it
a
was
lot of them,
also in a soap opera called One Life to Live.
yeah, a lot of them committed suicide. They didn't just sort of die of drug overdoses. So that's odd.
He
Like
hung
maybe,
himself.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's yeah. Maybe they get not non-stage 27. That's a bit old, isn't it? But maybe 27's the time where they have to sell their soul to the devil or something.
maybe
Or
there's only so much they can.
no,
Maybe there's
maybe
only so much that they can take after being
yeah.
nonced by thingy. Also, you got Anton Yelchin. Have you ever heard of him?
Nah,
He
he
was.
sounds.
You seen any of the new Star Treks, the J.J. Abrams ones?
Nah, it's not my cup
He
of
was
tea.
Chekhov in that. He was in.
All
He,
right.
he was in. He was in a version of one of Dean Koontz. Have you ever read any of his stuff?
Yeah, yeah. He's
Is
good
it
author.
Odd something? What's his name? Is it Odd Thomas or something? One of his characters.
Oh, I know. He's wrote a few good like Russian espionage novels. Dean Koontz, yeah, sort of vaguely horror type espionage novels. Yeah, I've only read that famous one. That yeah. But no, they do seem to
Odd
die.
Thomas. He was in the film version of Odd Thomas about a guy who can see demons.
Yeah, I think maybe these actors they're told like you will like sell your soul to the devil and you'll get loads of money and loads of like sex and that. And I think that's the first level, and like that all goes along fine until they reach age 27. And maybe when they're at 27 years old, maybe that's when you have to join the next level where you like bum children and kill children and eat babies and stuff. And if they say no, then they get turned into a sacrifice to Moloch slash Satan. But I think that might be what goes on. Because a lot of actors do die at age 27, don't they? Like I said, they don't die, they kill themselves as if they know something too horrible. They can't live anymore because they know like a horrible secret. So they kill themselves.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
one is Jean-Michel Basquiat.
Oh, was he 27? Oh, that's
Oh, do you
interesting.
know him?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, he's
The
like
one
a
I
black.
don't know is the one that you know.
He's a black so-called artist. Like he's
Yeah,
mates
yeah.
with Andy Warhol. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
used to
was
live in a
he was
cardboard
27
box.
as well.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Because I mean, talking of like satanic or on a British
Oh,
angle, I'll
blimey!
pictures.
I found the full list. The early bit I read was like the see if I can find some more famous ones. Obviously, Janis Joplin. I haven't heard of half of these.
Yeah, that's the trouble. I didn't want to mention them because they're so obscure. But
Yeah. Oh, Richie Edwards. That's the one. That's the one you wanted to mention, wasn't it?
yeah, that's weird, isn't it? Disappears without trace near the Clifton Suspension Bridge in Bristol. His car was found there, and yeah, he was aged 27. Yeah, and I know someone who was vaguely involved in that sort of
Oh, Jade Goody.
scene.
Jade Goody was
Oh,
part
was
of
she
that 27
27?
club.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Yeah. But apparently, like that whole Manic Street Preacher scene in the valley, in the Welsh valleys. I mean, that was so depressed there. Like they used to inject alcohol, like heroin. You know, they'd get like a shot of alcohol and just inject it deep straight into their veins. You know, they
There are
were
a lot
so
of
like,
rappers in this list.
I don't know. Yeah,
Oh, how
I'd
about
say
this one? How about this one then? Someone called Kurt. Have you ever heard of Kristen Pfaff?
nah, it's a good
Bass
name.
guitarist for Hole.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
know who
She
lead singer
was
of
one.
Hole
Yeah,
was, don't you?
yeah. Old Courtney Love
Yeah.
of a certain tribe. Yeah.
Pete DeFreitas, drummer
I've
for
heard of
Echo and the Bunnymen.
I've heard of Frey Bentos.
Pete DeFreitas was drummer for the Echo and the Bunnymen.
Oh, really? He was one. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah. How about
that.
the punk band The Minutemen? Do you know them? I know you
Yeah,
like your punk, don't you?
I had a couple
D
of
Boone.
LPs, but
D Boone was one of the was in it as well.
They were a good band, but a bit too preachy, kind of. Yeah, did some good songs. Yeah. Didn't he wrote an LP against drink driving or something, and he died in a car crash soon
Yeah.
afterwards, didn't he, or something? Yeah,
Oh,
bit odd.
Pigpen, the Ron Pigpen McKernan. That's
Yeah,
one of them. Who else have we got
he was
here?
in the Grateful Dead. Yeah, but I'd say like everyone in the Grateful Dead should die, really, because they're the
They
most
should be great. We should
boring.
be grateful that they're dead. Is that what you're saying?
Well, they're a CIA band, didn't they? Like LSD band. They did that whole CIA
Who's
LSD.
Cecilia? I've never heard of Cecilia. She was a singer.
Uh,
Is that who the song Cecilia was about?
I don't know.
Uh,
I'm
uh,
out of the loop. I'm a bloody don't know. I
Gary
got like a
Thane, who was the former bassist of Uriah Heep. Were they?
oh, I like a
Pete,
bit of heavy metal.
yeah, Pete Ham, keyboardist and guitarist of Badfinger. I've heard of those.
Yeah, I got that's on my list. Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's a bit.
Oh,
Is it?
Alex Harvey's brother died when he was 27.
Yeah, that's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think more people die age 27 in that scene than say like plumbers or like lawyers. I think like I don't think
Yeah.
many lawyers kill themselves age 27, do they? Like, I think so that's when they hit the second. That's when they're introduced to the second level of the Satan cult, where they have to like eat babies and that, and they refuse. And there's only one way out, isn't there? You got to kill yourself, I
Do you think?
suppose.
I wonder as well whether they have to offer up a family member for their
Mm,
for their.
possibly, yeah. Like old River Phoenix, as we said, yeah.
Well, maybe
Like,
Joaquin Phoenix offered his brother up as a sacrifice for his career.
well, it's an ancient ritual. It's mentioned in the Bible. You offered up your firstborn animal of your stock or a child, yeah. Sort of makes sense, yeah. If these people are that way inclined,
Oh,
yeah.
Mac Miller just missed out on it, didn't he? Ever heard of Mac Miller, the rapper that died? Apparently, his last video before he died, it was the like the coffin ceremony for the Illuminati. That one.
Yeah, the jerk off ceremony, yeah.
Not the jerk off bit, obviously, because it was a video. But yeah,
Well, like we got the lovely Peaches Geldof. I got some weird stuff about her. I mean, she wasn't in the 27 club because she died age 25 of a heroin overdose. But when police invest,
hold on, dog's off. Keep talking on mute.
it's a sign. It's a sign. I'm on to the good stuff here. But yeah, like Peaches Geldof, she died age 25 of a heroin overdose. But when police investigated the scene, they found loads of heroin beside her, and they also found 27 bottles of methadone. So, there you go. And Peaches Geldof, I didn't know this until yesterday, but Peaches Geldof produced a magazine called Disappear Here in 2008. And in the first issue, the limited edition issue 00,
That's easy for you to
strangely
say.
enough. But oh God, I feel eerie now. But that was priced, the first issue 00 was limited edition, and that was priced at £3.21, which is a satanic reversal of the divine order of 1, 2, 3. But the first issue that actually contained an article entitled "Who Will Go Next" on the fucking 27 Club.
Jesus.
You know, and that in this article that suggested that the next members of the 27 Club may be footballer Ashley Cole and the pop singer Craig David, but they didn't die age 27. But isn't that weird? Like old OTO woman, isn't she? She's an OTO, isn't she? Peaches Geldof. She produces a magazine featuring the 27 Club, and pretty soon after that, she
Joins it.
dies. And she said, like, she
How old
claimed
was she?
25 when she
Oh, right, she was-
died. But she said, like, she saw ghosts in her house. And I don't know if that was all the drugs, but she didn't look like a smackhead, did she, Peaches Geldof? She looked like a nice.
It kind of ran in the family though, because like
young
both
thing,
her mum and stepdad both died.
Well, like I say, that's the weird thing. A real mother, Paula Yates, she died from suicide or an overdose, and her stepdad, Michael Hutchins, lead singer of in Excess. I mean, he died from like what
Wanking.
seems to have been like autoerotic asphyxiation, as
Wanking
they
while
say, or
choking himself.
wanking while hanging yourself, yeah, as they say, which seems to be quite popular because David Carradine, the grasshopper actor, the kung fu actor, he died
Kill
from
Bill.
that, and so did Robin Williams, the comedian. But
I thought that was
I, don't-
suicide, or did they just kind of, or did they tart it up from
I
suicide
don't
to
know. Well, they said he was
bizarre wanking
depressed,
accident?
but I think that's just like maybe what actors do. They like a bit of autoerotic asphyxiation. AKA the Strangulated Beat-Offs. There was that good punk band from America called the Strangulated Beat-Offs. Yeah,
Turning
they did some good
Japanese.
songs, but, yeah.
You know what Turning Japanese is about, don't you?
No, I don't know.
That's about knocking one out as well.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the Vinegar Strokes, Zero.
Oh, right. I didn't know that. Yeah.
They maintain they maintain it's not apparently the vapors swear blind that it's not about that, but yeah, it is.
Because then you got that British Love Island TV host Caroline Flack. I mean, she just hanged herself, didn't she? But I don't think that was autoerotic. I think she just hanged herself because she was a bit loony. But I
think she got to the end of her tether, hadn't she? Like 40 years old, nothing to look forward to, nothing to look back on, was it?
But she hanged herself because she's going to go to court for allegedly punching her boyfriend Lewis Burton, but he was 27, so maybe he was meant to be a 27 club member, but she took his place, kind of thing. And so that's like she's like the third person from this Love Island awful TV show who've killed himself because two other members killed themselves, didn't they? After appearing,
weird. It's a bit weird, that, isn't it?
Should be called Death Island, shouldn't it?
A Death
Island. Yeah, Brian Jones, we haven't mentioned him. He was 27, wasn't he, when he mysteriously died or was probably murdered in his swimming pool. Yeah, because he's a curious guy, Brian Jones, the actual founder of the Rolling Stones.
26 seems to be just as popular, because Mike Thalastasis, who was one of these in blimey. Likely death. I've just found an article. Love Island's Mike Thalastasis and Sophie Graydon's deaths among 38 suspected suicides linked to TV reality shows worldwide.
Yeah. Because that guy from, what's his name? Jeremy Kyle, he did it, didn't he? And that's why they shut the show down, didn't they?
Shut it down, didn't they?
So in my mind, I've got to think, like, is there some sort of mind control stuff going on there? I don't know.
So Mike was,
obviously,
Mike, who was 26, was found hanged in woods. 2 Geordie Shore stars said they appeared on the MTV show shortly after panic attacks.
That's probably not a good idea. But...
Yeah.
Well, Brian Jones, he's like one of the famous 27 clubs.
So here's some more of the people at Rachel Brown, Hell's Kitchen, Cheryl Kozowicz, Pirate Master, Wife Swap, someone from Wife Swaps committed suicide, Super Nanny, American Idol, Paradise Hotel, Megan Wants a Millionaire, Boogie Woogie, which is an Indian one, The Bachelorette. I mean, these seem pretty cancerous, these things, don't they?
Because, like, you'd think that
Kitchen Nightmare seems to be quite a popular one to top yourself.
I'd have thought they'd be like the least likely people to commit suicide because it's a cushy job, isn't it? Just like being a prat on TV for like loads of money every week. You think they'd be the least likely to kill themselves, but
the WWF as well is kind of there's a lot of. Was it Chris Benoit that murdered his family, was it?
That sounds familiar, yeah. Because all this celebrity stuff, you'd think like if you were like slaving away at McDonald's every day, you probably, or if I was doing that, I probably would want to kill myself. But not if I was just like dancing about on TV or something. You know,
There you go, 20
it's a
wrestlers,
cushy-
20 wrestlers who committed suicide.
Yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
I can't see why they would, because I mean, God, it's not that stressful, is it? I don't know. Yeah, because Kenneth Anger, he said that he claims that Brian Jones had a third witch's nipple. Like, and so that's kind of odd. Maybe he was one of these culty people, because the Rolling Stones are quite an influential, in inverted commas, satanic band. I mean, they did all songs about Satan, didn't they? They did a whole LP about Satan, didn't they? There's His Satanic Majesty's Request or whatever it was. But so you got a satanic band founded by a member of the 27 Club. But, just odd. And I'm not sure about all that Jim Morrison stuff. I mean, yeah, his dad was like the commander of the U.S. Naval Force in that Gulf of Tonkin incident, but I think that's a bit of a stretch, because I mean, loads of people's dads at that time were in the military, weren't they, or the Navy? So I don't know whether that whole Laurel Canyon conspiracy stuff, and Dave McGowan's book about it, but yeah.
Well, we have our own version of Laurel Canyon, don't we? We have Boris Balkan wants to know what a vinegar stroke is.
I heard that thing on Grub and Salt. Was that crisp bag condoms?
Oh God, yeah, that dude that likes it. Oh Jesus, open when salt and vinegar. I think was.
That is fucking satanic. That is.
That is satanic. Yeah, he pretended he never had any and used the crisp bag instead. Jesus Christ.
Well, I'm curious what a vinegar stroke is now. Is that sort of horrible?
Oh dear. The vinegar strokes are. I can't believe I'm saying this on this show. The vinegar strokes are they're more grub and glory content, but the vinegar strokes are you know what happened just before you come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a bit of tantra content. Yeah.
Yeah, tantric. What, having
But
sex for 4 hours without touching each other? I don't think that's really sex, is it?
That's what Sting does, doesn't he? Old Sting and his missus.
Yeah. I think that's just code for not tonight, love. I've got a headache, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of odd.
Even Sting's missus. Well, it reminds me of that Mike Reed joke. Is my missus' idea of oral sex is spending an hour beforehand trying to talk me out of it.
That's a good one. That, yeah. But I don't know. Well, we got Kurt Cobain. God, there's a famous member of the 27 Club.
How many of the documentaries about Kurt Cobain's death have you seen?
God, yeah.
Have you seen the Nick? What's his name? That fucking awful documentary maker. Nick, what's his face?
I can't think of it now.
Kurt and Courtney he did, didn't he? I'll find out.
Real horrible bloke, isn't he? Like sort of like getting into people's lives just for TV.
He's like the olden days Louis Theroux, but not funny.
Yeah, and not Jewish.
Yeah,
but
possibly not.
Yeah, it's just awful. Well, you got Kurt Cobain staring at his dream machine. I can't explain the dream machine. I'm too pissed. But Google dream machine. The dream machine's a light device where you stare at it with your eyes.
Nick Broomfield.
It basically induces a mild epileptic fit where you see like lots of weird internal imagery of like mythic symbols and things like that. And I don't think it helps people like that to stare at it. And his girlfriend was Jewish. Like, I don't know if that's got anything to do with it, but I'm just saying his girlfriend, Courtney Love, was Jewish. And there's lots of stuff that she was like an Illuminati agent who sort of sold LSD. I'm not like, this is in the public domain. Allegedly in the public domain. There are stories.
Nick Broomfield is not Jewish, but he is a Quaker.
That's it. Yeah.
But he is a Quaker.
Yeah.
I don't know if is that better or worse.
I don't know. Quakers are pretty weird, aren't they?
Yeah. David Starkey was a Quaker, wasn't he? The historian. That's the
sort of first tier of esotericism for sort of normal people, isn't it? A Quakerism, yeah.
I'll just
People
eat
who
the
haven't
oats.
got the
I'll just eat the oats. That'll do me.
yeah, people who haven't got the balls to sort of jump deep end and worship Satan, they go for that sort of Quaker stuff or Theosophy, didn't they? These Theosophy Society, but anyway, there's stories that she sold LSD in Ireland and all that, and she's like promiscuous, and that's how she got famous. But she has an interesting father, Courtney Love, Hank Harrison, who was a former road manager of the Grateful Dead, who are pretty much like a CIA LSD spreading band from the 60s, all that sort of like manufacturing the Deadhead stuff. And interestingly,
Well, that's one of
Hank
the things. That's one of the things leveled against Laurel Canyon, wasn't it? That it was a testing ground for LSD, wasn't it?
yeah. And there is a weird military base in Laurel Canyon called it's located on Wonderland Avenue. So that sort of refers to all the Alice in Wonderland mind control stuff. And
Also, a bit like
yeah,
Michael Jackson's house. What's that? Neverland, isn't it?
mm, all that sort of dream level, sort of druggy dream level mind control, implanted personality stuff. Yeah, very curious. But this Hank Harrison guy, according to his website, he's a qualified expert witness in areas as diverse as ritual homicides and computer stuff. And he's testified in several cases involving drug abuse and suicide related issues. So I don't know if that connects to the 27 Club. But he also wrote lots of weird, or not weird, he wrote a few books about like earth mysteries and standing stones and stuff. And quite a curious father for Courtney Love, really. Like probably quite a sort of cool guy, I suppose. But yeah, but as you said before, like one of the mourners at Kurt Cobain's funeral was this Kirstine Paff, a member of Courtney Love's band Hole, who died aged 27 from an overdose in her bath, just like Jim Morrison. And
what's her name? Whitney Houston. Apparently, Whitney Houston's daughter was terrified of having baths.
do you reckon she was 27, Whitney Houston? Probably. I think she must have been a bit
she was way
older,
older
mustn't
than that.
she?
She had a grown daughter, didn't
yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's odd, isn't it? And didn't they find her or something, but didn't tell the police until hours later?
It's weird, isn't it?
Whitney
Because
Houston,
apparently the
yeah.
dying in the bath's an Illuminati ceremony as well, isn't it? Because I've been
Mm.
listening to a podcast about that kind
That's that whole smiley face stuff, isn't it? The smiley face river
Yeah.
killers leaving their bodies in rivers and that. Yeah, very odd. Where they'll kill someone and put them in the river, and the police will search the river and there's no body, and then like a few weeks later there is a body, and yeah, and a couple of policemen had died in like shallow rivers up in Scotland, like not too long ago, and
Whitney
yeah.
Houston's daughter was 22 when she died.
How the hell do you die drowning in the bath or whatever, or
Well, how the hell
drowning
do
in a
two
shallow
members of the
river
same family both die in the bath?
yeah, it's odd, isn't it?
Years apart, a year
Well,
apart.
that's like Peaches Geldof, isn't it? I mean, they all seem to sort of die by misadventure, in inverted commas, don't they? I mean, God, it's just odd, isn't it? Just very. And he got that Sturt the Brand Bags. He was 27, wasn't he? That guy from the Apprentice, like run by the. I mean, I don't know. I'm not making connections here, but you know, the guy who run the Alan Sugar. Is it Alan Sugar who runs the Apprentice?
Apprentice, yeah, he does the
I mean,
Apprentice.
he's of a certain tribe as well, and I don't know if that's connected, but yeah. I mean, this guy, the Brand. What stupid fucking nickname, the Brand. That was
That's one of the. That's one.
self-styled.
He's one of the few people I've seen on that. The bloke's an absolute plank. God rest him.
Yeah. What a name to call yourself, the Brand. Hi, I'm the Brand. You know, it's like,
That was.
hey guys, I'm the Brand. Shall we go and get drunk? You know, it's kind of like, oh my God, it's just, you know. But he was found dead in the Isle of Man, and that's a weird place, isn't it? The Isle of Man with its sort of weird swastikas type logo or whatever they call it. Man, that just
Three-quarter swastika.
yeah, it's kind of odd, isn't it? Well, that's all occulty stuff, isn't it? All that stuff, Isle of Man, isn't it? And they used to birch people on the Isle of Man until the 1960s. Yeah. I
Yeah,
like a bit of
I remember
that.
when George Formey did the TT. Do you remember that one?
No, I gotta watch it now though.
Yeah. There's one where he did the TT. That's quite funny. That one is.
Oh right, yeah, I have seen the film. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh god, yeah. Because there's rumours about George Formby, isn't there? That he was a bit on the nonce side, put it that
Really?
way. But yeah,
Not
I've
George
read
Formby.
rumours.
Can't we have anybody? Can't we just have one
Yeah.
survive
Well,
with his legacy intact?
he's a bit of a Jimmy Savile character, isn't he? Because all his songs have got like puns in it about sex, isn't it? That was his shtick, weren't it? Like his sort of cheeky, naughty songs, weren't it? Like I'm fondling me me banjo and all that. It is. Yeah, I don't know. And because, like, speaking of Scotland, there's a few sort of 27 stuff that go on there. There was the prostitute Emma Coldwell, 27, who was found in woods outside Scotland naked and strangled in 2005. And the police have never caught her killer. And apparently, during their investigations, like, her client list included like bankers, doctors, company directors, and a policeman. And so you got to think like whether that was covered up or whether that was a 27 thing. Yeah, I don't know. And there's that famous satanic cult awareness manual that was released in the 1993 during the Satanic Panic thing. I mean,
I remember that.
that
I
litmus,
remember
yeah,
the Satanic Panic. Yeah, it was
yeah.
crazy, wasn't it?
But that was what was given to like law enforcement, and in there on page 6 of that lists that there are 27 different steps in the recruitment, indoctrination, and disorientation process in satanic cults. So it's
Do
kind
you
of
remember
weird.
that when people used to go to like when people every other day, like someone was kids having their kids taken off them, weren't they? There was
Yeah,
supposedly a big
yeah.
ring that always turned out to be nothing, didn't it?
Poor innocent pagans got their children taken away. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like odd. Yeah, but this 27 does keep cropping up.
I remember some of the stories where where the girls said they were taken place, had babies taken out of them and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, they believed all that weird stuff. Yeah. Although there were actual convictions for that. There was a case in Pembrokeshire in South Wales where there was an actual like satanic cult who were abusing children. But yeah, but whether that was an actual satanic cult or just people dressing up because they like dressing, perverts
Well,
like
that
dressing up, I suppose, didn't they?
well that what better way to get away with it than making it too ridiculous to believe?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they
Hide
could do it. Yeah. Because I
in
mean,
plain
look at
sight.
Jimmy Savile, yeah, Jimmy Savile and all
Yeah,
that.
I
I
mean he was
mean,
hiding in
it's
plain
fucking
sight as a
real, isn't
pedo
it?
all those years, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking real, isn't it? The satanic panics fucking just should have been. People should have been more panicked. But
Yeah.
and you got this Vice land, that horrible Vice people, like their docu series, The Devil You Know, about this like nutcase Satanist who like ate people and stuff, and that premiered on the 27th of August 2019. So yeah, it's just odd. It does turn up, and I don't think that you get these horrible fucking skeptics who say it's just coincidence or confirmation bias, but I don't think it is. Like 27 keeps turning up in all this stuff, but
I
yeah,
find my birthday pops up in a lot of places. It's kind of weird.
yeah, I ain't really got any special numbers. I don't think I don't. I was in a 131 at one point, but that was to do with all sort of like OTO stuff. But 131's quite interesting because you got like the 13 sort of reversed and sort of the 31, the key of the Book of the Law and all that, Aleister Crowley's Book of the Law. But that's an interesting number. Yeah, for like, I don't know. Like people say, like it's all bollocks, but I don't think it is because
What do you think
I
to
think I've
what was it? Boris Balkan says witchcraft and the occult is quite an established thing in the Welsh marches, Order of
yeah.
the Nine Angles and all that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Order of Nine Angles and stuff, yeah. But it's sort of like is in lots of rural, and it's very well established in Norfolk, like because the Roman roads went straight up the middle of England, and they didn't really venture into Norfolk, so they were like Norfolk people were left to sort of get on with it, sort of thing.
Well,
And
didn't
I,
they get done over by the Vikings quite a bit though, Norfolk? Because
yeah,
they'd be susceptible to that, wouldn't they?
I think that there was a bit of Saxon colonization or whatever. Yeah, but Saxons are pretty cool. I can cut the Saxons some slack. I mean, they're into the occult, aren't they? All that stuff. Yeah, I read the other day that like a lot of the Norfolk, what are they called, like coach houses, like they'd lace the beer with opium to sort of ward off malaria because malaria was quite rife in Norfolk at some point. So now, a lot of people are out of their heads on opium in Norfolk. That explains quite a lot. But yeah, it's a curious place. But what was I saying? But yeah, these skeptics. God, I've got a real like hatred of skeptics. Like I don't like skeptics anymore. That ball lightning stuff, and sleep fucking paralysis. Like fuck off with the fucking stuff. But this shit's real. It really is real. Like I think I said it on another show. Like there must be like things like UFO retrieval teams and sort of like pedo sex cults, because if there wasn't, like the world would be even weirder, wouldn't it? Like they must be like there because it's just what rich people do, isn't it? Like or the pedo stuff, especially. I mean,
Do you
it's
think we
just
should?
what
Do you
they
think we
do,
should
isn't
be? Do
it?
you think we should be more concerned with stuff that's just hand waved away? Then, do you think that's the
Oh
stuff that they
yeah,
really don't want you to know? The less of a fuss they make about it, the more chance it is of being real, kind of thing.
I think so because like the upper classes, they were renowned for wife swapping at their country house parties. I mean,
The
there's
old
that old thing
pampas
about the
grass.
butler, isn't it?
The old
And the thing
pampas
like the
grass.
butler, yeah. And the butler knew not to knock on certain doors in the morning because they'd leave their shoes outside, and like he'd know everyone's shoes, and yeah, wife swapping and all that was always going on, isn't it? And you got the British royals who like supposedly frown on masturbation, which is why they created the ladies in waiting so like the Royal Males could have no string sex instead of jerking off, and all that private school stuff, all that homosexuality and sadism and sort of paedophilia. And it's entrenched in
Do
the
you think
upper
that's why that
classes,
spread
isn't
into
it?
normal society? Because these people don't want to appear as fucking weird as they actually are.
Or maybe it just like natural. Maybe these people they go to private schools and they get jobs in a sort of lower grammar school or a secondary school, and that just spreads, sort of thing. Like I've always thought like horse riding. You got these females horse riding. I mean, it kind of gets them hot, doesn't it? Sort of like I'm riding on this beast, riding upon this beast with their legs open. It's hot stuff, isn't it? As someone once said, it's gonna. And you got that weird like fox hunting thing, in it, where they blood the face of the new girl, didn't they, with the
Yeah, do you remember they
dead
used that in
fox's blood? But
the Omen 3, didn't they?
yeah, they used to. Oh, they sort of used it in that Hammer horror, like Curse of the Zombies as well. Yeah,
Oh, did they?
yeah. But I mean, that's a bit weird, isn't it? Blooding the face of a young, probably virgin girl with the dead fox's blood. No, I think it all goes on, but there's no conspiracies. Like, that's the main thing, with these skeptics. You get some skeptics saying like, "Well, like, there's no conspiracies. Like, no one's in charge." That's total bollocks. Like, go out on the street, like everything's controlled and guarded, isn't it? By like laws and sort of media-induced mind control. The world doesn't run on chaos. It runs on these elite cults who control fucking everything, don't they? It's like there is a conspiracy and there is an elite cult. I'm convinced of it anyway. But they're not going to let the world run by chaos, are they? Because
Well,
that's
why
just going
when
to
you don't have to?
threaten. Well, it's just going to threaten their hegemony, or whatever
Hegemony.
you call it. Yeah. They're not
Hegemony.
going to let the world run on chaos. They're going to control every fucking aspect of it.
Of course they are, because they can. That's the reason they do it, because they can. They don't. They don't do it for any
Yeah,
other reason that they can.
and they
Like you
make
say,
money
why?
off it.
Why? why would you want the plebs voting any way they please when you can put your man in there?
Yeah. And if you control stuff like when wars happen, you can like manipulate the stock market and make loads of cash off it. So of course they're going to control these things. I mean, they can't control everything, but they control pretty much everything, I think. But
Too much money's never enough for them, is it?
yeah. But why all this paedophilia? Well, it's not funny. I don't know. I'm laughing. I'm pissed. But why this paedophilia stuff seems to be a big part of it is it's not. I don't think it's really necessary, is it? But it certainly is.
Because it just annoys the plebs. Is that why they do it?
That might be. Yeah. It gets
The
gets
plebs
angry,
don't, the plebs don't like it, so they again getting one over on the plebs, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just odd, isn't it? Well, I suppose I don't know. That's a good thing because, like, you get the plebs rised up, and then the plebs see them getting away with it,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it's a good sort of like puts them in their place, doesn't it?
Well, like
Keeps
you
the
like
plebs
like
in
you
their
like to
place,
mention
doesn't
the massive overarching child sex abuse inquiry that didn't
Yeah.
go anywhere, didn't even get
Doesn't
started,
it?
let alone got knocked on the head.
I suppose, like, I don't know, like, I suppose paedophilia. I suppose they could do it to gain magical power and to blackmail people, but yeah. Maybe they just do it to make money. You know, it's as dreary as that. They do it to make money. They just sell fucking the films of it, don't they? Or, I don't know. Well, say all this stuff like this left wing craze of like removing statues and that, and they're all removing statues and all that all over the world. But the BBC haven't removed their paedophilic statue that stands above the main entrance of their broadcasting house headquarters. You got that statue, you know, you got a naked boy with an old bloke standing behind him. Like, that's right above the main
Oh,
entrance.
if there's anything that sums up the BBC, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like you know, it's real stuff. That statue was done by Eric Gill, weren't it? And he used to shag two of his daughters and the family dog. You know, and he had an incestuous relationship with his other sister, Gladys. So that statue was definitely made by a total perv. But no, you can't get rid of that statue because BBC. Yeah, that's like you can't get rid of them. And
well, these organisations, they know what they can and can't go after, don't they?
that's like you say that they're taking the piss, aren't they? They're just
Yeah.
rubbing it in our faces, isn't they? Like we're not getting rid of the Nazi statue above the BBC because we're the cult. You know, you don't mess with the cult. Right?
Yeah.
We'll get rid of some like 19th century white bloke from some university campus, but no, you can't touch the lovely BBC Satanist cult. That's just odd. But I mean, it's not conspiracy theory anymore. I mean, there's so many of these upper class guys. They're all like total pedos, isn't they? Like that.
Well, it seems to be the longer time goes on, the more right David Icke is, doesn't it?
Oh, hang on, I got a chat stuff I got to do. Eric Gill, Eric Gill had an wee babu. Eric Gill had an incestuous relationship with his younger sister Gladys. Yeah, fucking strange. I mean, yeah, that Rodham Twist bloke, his father was Black Rod in the British government in the 70s. But he was a total perv, like, and he admitted it. And you got all these other stuffs. And
you say his name's Rodham Twist.
Kid. Rodham Twist, TWISS.
Well, I was thinking because Rodham is Hillary Clinton's is it maiden name?
Is it really? Oh, that's interesting. That's his
Hillary
first
Rodham.
name.
Is it middle name or? I know she's Hillary Rodham Clinton, isn't she?
Well, yeah, they're probably all related, aren't they? Yeah. Then you got that Paul kid, like he was like the Queen's butler, and he was a total nonce, you know. Prince Charles. I mean, oh God, I don't know. Don't get me started on Prince Charles, but Charles, you know,
there's something not right with Diana's
old
butler.
floppy ears. Nah,
Diana's
just
butler.
He was
Yeah,
what's his name?
Rodham
Yeah,
was Hillary Clinton's maiden name.
that's interesting. Yeah, oh, they're probably related. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Prince Charles, I mean, he's a good friend of the pedos, Jimmy Savile and that Bishop Peter Hall. You know, he was like shagging the choir boys for decades, and that was all covered up. And yeah, I think I said earlier, like Prince Charles, who is like the next in line to the British throne. He went to that Gordonstone school in Scotland, where like documented cases of paedophilia took place, and his dad, Prince Philip, went there, and so did Prince Andrew. He went there as well. You know, old Jeffrey Epstein's mate. So
Jeffrey
you
Epstein's
know,
mate.
that's where they're all taught it, isn't it? And then
Did
Tony
you see
Blair
that?
went.
I didn't get to talk about it, but it was a story I had in the stack for Tuesday. Was hold on a sec, I'll find it. Kids have been American tourists to England have been. There's a sign on the school bus on the travel bus saying to ring the FBI if they see and Prince Andrew.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, did he put his foot in it or what with that fucking
Oh,
Newsnight interview? Oh, that's cringe, wasn't it? Oh God,
uh, the
you
Pizza
can't like.
Express.
And he's now sort of quiet. Yeah, that pizza. He's taking the piss, and he like he's got to be, any. He must be like.
US school bus with poster urging the public to get Prince Andrew to call the FBI if they see the Duke of York is sent to
Yeah,
Buckingham Palace by Jeffrey Epstein's victim's lawyer.
yeah. God. He just can't show his face anymore, can he? He's just like
Oh dear.
everyone's just going to take the piss out of him, and he'll. But they all these people, they all go to like pedo schools. Like Tony Blair, he went to that pedo-infested Fettes College in Scotland, and they all go to these pedo schools. You know, it's like part of their education, isn't it?
Unbelievable, isn't it?
And again, like you said, like that independent inquiry into child sex abuse that seems to be going on into infinity. I mean, that launched like 15 investigations. They've got 15 ongoing investigations, and that's the Satan number.
It's got less investigation than it's had chairman, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just mental.
Do you remember that the flurry of
Yeah.
people doing it for 5 minutes and quitting?
Yeah, it's just mad.
They must
But
have been subjected to some pressure, mustn't they? That's why they kept quitting.
I think something. Yeah, they're just trying to draw it out like Brexit, aren't they? So people lose interest. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I just find it odd. Like even the actual investigation into it, they've got 15 investigations, and like 15's the Satan number, isn't it? Like, tarot trump 15's the devil, and there's 78 cards in a tarot deck, and 7 + 8 = 15. I don't know. I mean, that Skull and Bones cult selects 15 new members and new members each year, and that Bohemian Grove cremation of care sacrificial ritual that takes place every year on the 15th of July. I don't know.
Jesus Christ.
You can read stuff into this, but I don't think it's coincidence that and 15 shows up.
I think our Richard Nixon had the number of Bohemian Grove. Is it Skull and Bones? He's in the faggiest goddamn thing I ever saw, didn't he?
Isn't it?
Base Nixon.
Yeah, I think he was quite based. Yeah,
I think that's why they stitched him up, weren't it?
Yeah, he's got that really angular surname, isn't he? Nixon, with all those like right angles and that. Yeah, I think he's pretty hard edged. I think. Yeah. But fuck all this skeptic stuff, like coincidence. They say it's just coincidence, but what the hell is coincidence? You know, it's like if I think of an elephant, say, and then like almost instantly my friend or a stranger on the street or the TV says elephant, I don't think it's coincidence. I'd say that's my telepathy or precognition. You know.
Well, someone in chat mentioned Jonathan
coincidence.
King earlier, and I'd literally been reading about him just before we started the show.
Who's he?
Jonathan King, you remember that? Oh, that horrible. Did he used to do that program about the USA? Didn't he? He was a paedophile.
Oh, Jonathan King. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a total pedo. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know. It's like it's all just coincidence. It's just that's their other one. It's just your imagination.
Yeah.
You know, as if the imagination is of like little importance, where like everything in the world starts from imagination. But that's these tricks, these spells they put on us, isn't it? Like it's just coincidence. It's just imagination, and a lot of people do go along with it and think, yeah, you know, yeah, there's no. It's just materialism. There's nothing else to it, but there fucking is. But
They just go back to sleep, don't they?
yeah, I can't stand it. I've never liked authority. I can't stand it. School tortured me, and when I left school, like the normal world tortures you even more, doesn't it? With all these fucking idiots, like telling you what to think, or trying to tell you what to think and do, and yeah, I can't stand it. Well, I've run out of notes, so
I've run out of steam. We've done 2.5
yeah.
hours anyway, so
My voice is going. Yeah, we need a
yeah,
Hobbit intermission. Yeah,
yeah,
where's
we need.
Hobbit gone?
Yeah, where
Come
is
back,
Hobbit gone?
Hobbit.
He's probably still down the pub, isn't he? He
God.
did pop into chat earlier.
All right, I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, so right, that's us done.
Just
It's Thursday, so don't forget. I'm absolutely knackered. I'm absolutely knackered, to be honest. So we're trying to think who's on when. We've got Sunday. Scuggy Squidge is doing his show, so look for Scuggy Squidge's channel. Sunday at 7, I think. Brutus does Sunday nights. You've got Monday. You've got Psy. Tuesday I'm back with Grub and Glory, so there's plenty of content for you lot to find out there. And
join our Telegram as well,
join our Telegram, 14 words.
and post some stuff for fuck's sake as well. Everyone's just listening.
Don't leave it to us. There's plenty of good websites to have a look at.
I'm doing my magazine. It's coming along. It will arrive. It will be announced on this program. So that's something to look forward to.
So that'll be me signing off. Night all.
See ya.